outside linebacker. Belichick, the Cleveland coach, says the best player on the Houston defense is William Fuller, number 95. Off the films they've watched, Dishman is the best cover corner. Jackson's a player that they'll look to go deep on. The safeties, McDowell and Robertson, very good. Oilers coming in highly rated both on offense and on defense. And there is Wilson Marshall, who played on 2 Super Bowl winners. One with the Bears, one with the Redskins. Marty says he shows up in places he's not supposed to be. Very tough to contain for deep offensive blockers. Long ball downfield early, and Jackson had a step on the defender. They went right after Jackson early. We were looking for it, and they went to it. The ball is just overthrown, but Philcox showing a very strong arm, Rizzy.
Don, it was strong, but it was too strong. The receiver, Jackson, is wide open. I mean, the middle of the field has been vacated because of the man-for-man coverage. All he has to do is lead it high and softly to the inside, and it's a touchdown. And that would have quieted a lot of people who are concerned about the big change at quarterback. What an opportunity they just blew.
We could see that again, though. They think Jackson's a man who can be beaten deep. Now, Philcox has to throw again. Philcox is big. We saw he has a strong arm. He's 6'4", 225, a free agent out of Syracuse. Penalty markers go down as the big rush comes. Sean Jones, who's having a terrific year at right defensive end, number 96, said yesterday, if you can't handle pressure, you can't beat the Oilers. A quarterback that can handle pressure.
False start, 88 offense prior to the
pick up the blitz.
5 yards.
Can have success against us, but the pressure's going to be on all day. As Belichick says of the Buddy Ryan defense, sooner or later you see everybody in that defense come at you on some kind of a pass rush.
Well, the thing to watch about the Houston Oilers defense is the fact that they do not substitute. The people you see on the field, those are the people that Buddy Ryan will go with. He does not believe in nickel. He'll challenge you putting linebackers on wide receivers. He's got a linebacker, 57, Lathan, on the slot back now.
After the penalty against the Browns, it's now 3rd down and almost 13. Philcox with a deep drop. Fires the ball over the middle. It's up. Almost intercepted as the Oilers converge on it. Rich Dishman tipped the ball. So the Browns failed to get a first down on their first possession. They'll punt from deep in their own end, but they will punt with a gusting wind at their backs. Willie Drury will be the deep kick returner for the Houston Oilers. And there is the punter for the Cleveland Browns, Brian Hansen, having a good year, as you see. Second in the AFC behind Montgomery of the Oilers. Averaging almost 46 yards a punt is Brian Hansen. Oilers are strong in every area. Offense, defense, special teams, kicking game. Hansen strides into the ball, hits it downfield. Drury backpedaling to his 40. Head down. And Willie Drury making a gutsy return. He had nowhere to go but straight at all those pursuers, and he did get 6 yards after a 42-yard punt. So the Oilers will start an offense with good field positions. They'll be starting from about their 46-yard line. Warren Moon comes in with 15 touchdown throws and 14 interceptions, but over the last 4 games he's been great, over 70% completions. The offensive line, loaded with blue chippers, has been protecting him well. Hopkins is a guy they're a little bit concerned about, only because he's a rookie and he's playing against one of the best much of the day, outside linebacker Clay Matthews. Gary Brown is in for Lorenzo White at running back again. Brown coming off that 166-yard game against the Bengals a week ago. He had 1 yard more rushing than the whole Bengal offense had. Brown turns it up, turns it out, and he's across midfield on a first down carry, good for a gain of almost 5 yards. Cleveland's strength is its defensive front. The front 4, Rob Burnett, Jerry Ball, Michael Dean Perry, and they'll use Clay Matthews and Mike Johnson as the starting linebackers as they go to a dime set with 6 defensive backs to try to counter the run and shoot attack of the Houston Oilers. Del Spira, rookies in there. They've had some injury problems, and they're starting a newly acquired player, Eric McMillan, also. Browns feel the key to stopping these run and shoot receivers to be very physical with them. 2nd down and 6 comes up now as Warren Moon takes a look. Here comes the rush, and Warren Moon has to eat the ball, and finally he releases it. No penalty marker. Webb Slaughter was his intended receiver, the leading receiver in the American Conference, who was a Cleveland Brown just a year ago.
Great pressure that time by Rob Burnett, number 90. He'll come from the top of your screen. Now, Moon has plenty of time. He elects not to go with Slaughter. Webster Slaughter was wide open. Barnett keeps working, gets a grab on him, and Moon wisely just gets the ball onto the ground. Great pressure by Barnett.
Rob Burnett, third-year pass rusher from Syracuse. Now the Oilers set with a 3rd down and 6 coming up from midfield. Warren Moon takes a drop, takes a look. Here's the rush again. Downfield throw, and it's broken up beautifully. Eric Turner, the free safety, number 29, coming across to tip the ball away. And so quickly the Oiler offense, which has been rolling of late, is 3 downs and out on its first possession. And Eric Metcalf, who personally beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on this field October 24th, the leading punt returner in the NFL, 16 yards a return. He's back to wait Greg Montgomery's punt. Montgomery's been troubled by back trouble. Nobody kicks it like Montgomery, though, when he's feeling well, and he booms one here into the wind and still hits it deep. Metcalf takes a shot at the 13-yard line.
Oh! I heard that all the way up here. That was a tremendous pounding that the young man took by Bowden.
Anti-lock brake is like this little computer, keeps your brakes from locking up.
And it helps you to maintain control.
All-wheel drive is if the back wheels are spinning, then the torque or the power goes to the front wheels.
To give you more traction on taking off.
The airbag, upon impact, pops out like a balloon.
Bang! Whoosh, poosh, and poof.
All these safety features come standard on every Chevy Astro all-wheel drive van for all the best reasons.
What's he doing? Better humor him.
Okay, I'm here to show you the new Panasonic Palmcorder camcorder with digital image stabilizer.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
It helps hold the picture steady even when your hand shakes this much. And Palmcorder tapes can play in any VHS recorder. So why buy a camcorder whose tapes can't play in your VCR?
I don't know.
The choice is obvious. The Panasonic Palmcorder. Its tapes will play in your VCR.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
Bill Belichick, in his 3rd year as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. He was the defensive coordinator on the 2 giant Super Bowl championship teams. And you played for him, Beasley, and spent a lot of time with him yesterday.
Yeah, I did, and we had a great conversation about this whole Kosar thing. The team's trying to get past it. He said that the pressure is on him, and that he's the one they're going to boo, and that's exactly where he wants the pressure to be, so his guys can play some football.
Wilcox with a quick out to Mark Carrier. Putting on some moves at the 20-yard line, and a quick out on 1st down is good for a gain of almost 10 yards. We'll see where they spot him out of bounds. They're going to spot him out at the 21-yard line, so at that point it's about an 8-yard gain.
Even though the receiver slips down, Phil Cox with a strong throw, very accurate. Mark Carrier, they got him from Tampa Bay. He's got great quickness. And, you know, Todd needs something real good to happen. Real good to happen. He had a lot of turnovers last week against Seattle. He needs to play well today.
The Oilers, a blitzing, attacking defense under defense coordinator Buddy Ryan. Now, Wilcox loses his footing. An area of the field has been resodded. That would be the baseball infield for the Cleveland Browns. Next year, this will be strictly a football stadium as the baseball Indians will move to a new stadium in town. A natural grass field here. Browns working with the gusting wind at their back. The wind is swirling.
This is exactly what he did not need. I mean, that's the kind of thing that fuels these people, the fans, and they're upset over Bernie Kosar being out of here. There's your baseball setup. You can see how he's in the infield when he sets up and slips that time.
3rd down. They need 4. Another quick out, just over the middle, beautifully executed, but now the ball is taken away by Dishman. He literally took it away from Patrick Rowe, who caught the ball, and it's the Houston Oilers ball on a a brilliant defensive play by Chris Dishman.
He's the best cover guy on this football team, Don, and he was all over the wide receiver. I mean, when you're in position like that, Patrick Rowe makes a great catch. Phil Cox makes a perfect throw, but Dishman is on the guy's back. Look at the close. The close on the ball was special, and as he fought for the tackle, look what he found. Pulled it out and made a nice return. That's a big play, and it's the kind of plays that winning, very, very good football teams and attacking defenses make.
The Oilers have defeated the Browns 5 of the last 6 times they've played. As you saw, it's been a series of very close games. Now the Oilers with the first turnover of the day, and turnovers have been the nemesis of their offense, although they've cut them down. Here's a fumble, and the Cleveland Browns might have it right back. Del Spear might have the ball, a rookie who's starting in the defensive secondary. No sooner said than the problems the Oilers have had with turnovers. They lead the NFL with 29 turnovers, and we'll see if it's 30.
See, players make plays.
Browns have it.
And they make a play. Players make plays. The defense came crashing in there. There were people pulling on Brown's helmet. He was all in bad position, and the defense kept striking at him until they got him to turn the ball over. Now, last week, Brown put on a show. I mean, the guy had gigantic holes, but this offensive line of Houston is working against one of the best front sevens in football now, so the going is not going to be as easy. Look, people hitting him, going at him immediately. I saw Michael Dean Perry in there, a bunch of guys hitting at the ball. Cleveland's coming up with the play.
So, consecutive turnovers. And the ball now is back in the hands of the Cleveland Browns. Todd Philcox, who is the starting quarterback, was really victimized last week at Seattle. Philcox lost the ball on the first play from scrimmage on a fumble that was run in for a touchdown by Blackman, and the Browns never really recovered from that as they turned the ball over 7 times in that game.
Philcox is still struggling. He missed what was a sure touchdown, and then he fell down on one drop back. He needs something good to happen.
Our drive straight ahead, and Vardell takes the ball across to the 26-yard line.
Just straight ahead blocking by the offensive line, nothing tricky. See the good push up front, and Tommy Vardell is one of the strongest fullbacks in the game. He just forces his way up for 5 or 6 yards there.
Second down and 3 at the Cleveland 26.
Browns break the huddle now. Ball positioned at their 26-yard line. Second down and 3. No score. Philcox using a power set in his backfield with double tight ends to Vardell. And the Oilers shut it down momentarily. Vardell, a senior back out of Stanford, fights off it and gets close to the 30-yard line.
Tommy took about 2 yards there. I mean, they had him stop in beyond the line of scrimmage, actually. Nice little effort, but still, good job by the Houston defense. Here's a perfect look at it. Nothing up front, really. Good job by the defense. Glenn Montgomery, number 94, actually neutralizing the offensive line and turning back into touchdown, Tommy. Looks like it's close enough for them to measure. Tell you what, that turns it into a great run. The man makes 3 yards when there's nothing there and gets the first down.
Vardell comes into the game as the Browns' leading rusher with 448 yards. He's averaging over 4 yards a rush. Cleveland runs the ball well. Both these teams run for over 4 yards a carry. Very impressive running statistics. But the Browns are way down in overall offense. Their passing game is near the bottom. First down, nice play fake by Philcox. Buys some time and hits his open man, the tight end Kinchin. And he's out across the 45-yard line, out to the 47. For Bubba McDowell, the strong safety knocks him out of bounds after a gain of 17 yards.
Well, that's what happens when you play man for man all the time. You play it first, second down, even though it may be a running down. That time, the guy covering the tight end got lost. He fell for the run fake. Covering him was supposed to be 59 Joe Bowden. Joe got lost, so the tight end all by himself. And you know Buddy Ryan has got to be a little bit upset because He had everything designed perfectly, but when you fall for the run fake and you're covering the tight end, there's no way in the world that you're going to stop the play.
So the Browns in this scoreless game have a first down. Wilcox again looking deep. Triggers a lofted flow as the fight for this ball, and it's taken by Cleveland at the 18-yard line. Mark Carrier goes up and comes down with it for a 30-yard gain.
God, it was a horrible pass. Look at Wilcox. He's even smiling there. The ball came out of his hand like a wounded duck. I mean, it was fluttering around up there. If they hadn't been in man-for-man coverage and a zone principle, somebody would be able to see this. See if you can see the football. Look at it. That thing, I'm telling you, there's a couple of 10-year-olds out here in the punt, pass, and kick contest that can throw better than that. Carrier makes the play by coming back and out-jumping everybody for the ball.
So the Cleveland offense, which rates 25th in the NFL out of 28 teams, comes up with some big plays in this drive and is now threatening. Cardell cutting back. He takes it down to the 13-yard line. Al Smith, the middle linebacker, comes up to make the stop for the Oilers.
Good job by the Browns offensive line. They are pushing a very good Cleveland team around a little bit. And Tommy's making the nice cutbacks to find the creases in the defense. And as big and strong as he is, you're going to gain some yards.
The winner of this game could have a share of first place with the Steelers by the end of the day. Our doubleheader game is Pittsburgh at Denver. Steelers go out there after that big win at Buffalo as an underdog to the Broncos. Wilcox in a rollout. Takes a look. Here comes the rush, and he throws it away wisely. And a penalty marker comes in. Leroy Horde protesting that he was interfered with. He was coming out of the backfield. Ray Childress put a big rush on for the Oilers. And it is a holding call against the Oilers, a first down for Cleveland.
Well, they were holding some of the receivers downfield. I thought that was a very smart play by Wilcox.
Holding, 95 defense, 5 yards, first down.
William Fuller on the right-hand side of your screen is the culprit. He comes off the ball and holding him right there. He's holding on to the fullback, number 33, Leroy Horde. Wilcox made a smart move there by throwing the ball away. That was a great job by Wilcox.
It was indeed, and now it is first and goal inside the 10-yard line. Quick drop, throw to the end zone, off the hands of Michael Jackson, who is one of the NFL's best in yardage per catch, 19.8. 6 for touchdowns.
Well, Michael is a big target. Steve Jackson, the corner that he's working against, is only 5'8". So they figure they throw it up. They've got the taller, better leaper. Figure maybe they'll come down with the touchdown. That time the ball just a little bit behind it.
Steve Jackson getting a lot of action at the right cornerback position. He does have 2 interceptions this year. Both these starting cornerbacks out of Purdue, Ishman and Jackson. Second down and goal now for Wilcox. He takes a look. He eludes the rush. Wilcox throws to the end zone. And they wave it off, and here's another penalty marker in.
Lamar Latham was blitzing all the way from start to finish on this play. He's wearing number 57. I think Wilcox saw that before the play even started and knew exactly what he was going to do with the ball.
So this one will be against the Browns as they send in Metcalf now. It was amazing, Beasley, how all the Houston coaches were raving about Metcalf and how they really feel he's the key to stopping Cleveland. If you don't corral him, as Pardee put it, you can lose this game.
Well, the guy can do everything. See, he beats you coming out of the backfield as a receiver. He beats you as a running back, as a return specialist. You know, when they put up what they call the MDM, the most dangerous man, every game, every team does it. And the most dangerous man offensively for Cleveland is without question Metcalf.
Some dramatic turns early. A takeaway by Chris Dishman.
Offense. Ineligible downfield. 5-yard penalty is declined. Third down.
Tony Jones, the left tackle who's having a good year, was downfield looking to block because he figured that's what Wilcox is going to do with the ball, run with it. So he's an illegal man downfield, and that will now set the ball at the 7-yard line. Bring up third down.
The blitz of the linebacker, Lamar Latham, destroyed that play from the beginning. Wilcox knew the play that he called was not going to work, and that's the reason that whole play was out of sync.
Now the referee Ron Blum steps in and calls a timeout, all by the Browns. Back to Cleveland Stadium in a moment.
After all these years, Watson, the trail is decidedly cold.
But Holmes, it's quite warm in here.
All these years.
Curiously cozy.
No, fiendishly clever. Observe, Watson. Warm house, many years. It must be...
Lennox.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
For home heating, for cooking, for hot water, use clean, natural gas. America's best energy value.
The new GeoPrism has asphalt laminates, foam blocks, and hydraulic engine mounts. They do more than make Prism a very quiet car. They help keep the sounds you don't want out and the sounds you do want in. So before you buy your next car, get to know the new GeoPrism, because what you hear in your car should be up to you.
Hurry to McDonald's Holiday Film Festival, featuring the classic Charlotte's Web, unbelievably priced at just $5.99 when you buy any large sandwich. Or get the hit Ghost. Yes! Or The Addams Family. Showtime! Or Wayne's World. Just $5.99 each when you buy any large sandwich. No way. You can see these new movies at theaters and own the originals. But hurry, because these values will be gone in a flash. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Geo, inviting you to get to know the newest GeoPrism, only at your Chevrolet Geo dealers. By Valvoline Motor Oil, people who know use Valvoline. By Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas. And by the 25th Anniversary Diamond, for a brilliant celebration of your loving marriage.
The left tackle, Tony Jones, is the guy that they call for being downfield. He thinks it's a run, and look at him. He's all the way in the end zone right now, and that's the reason for the penalty, because Phil Cox ended up throwing a pass. I think that's a pretty good call, Doug.
Yeah, good place to be if you're eligible in the end zone, but he wasn't. So now third down comes up. Swing pass. Metcalf has it, but the Oilers have him at the 4-yard line, and Cleveland will send out its field goal kicker. Matt Stover having a good year. He's hit 8 of 11 field goal tries. Comes out now. Pretty much sure shot range with the wind at his back. So the Cleveland Browns, capitalizing on the 30th turnover of the season committed by the Oilers, take the ball downfield and get in position for the first score of the game.
Well, that was a strange drive, Don. They had the one fluke play where Phil Cox threw this flying duck kind of a ball that was caught by Carrier. And some good running, though. Good run blocking and good running by Vardell. They did earn it.
21-yard field goal is spun up and good by Hansen. And the underdog Browns, underdogs on their home field, take the lead 3-0. Cleveland will kick off when we come back.
Like a... Here's the Chevy S Series in color. Here it is in black and white. The new Chevy S Series. Everything else is history.
The problem with cotton pants is they come out of the dryer with all these wrinkles. But hey, Hager wrinkle-free cottons are 100% cotton. They come out of the dryer wrinkle-free. Really, really hot.
Oh. Hager wrinkle-free cotton. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
Some people get nasal congestion, but if you get sinus congestion, use a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex has a decongestant plus Vicks Vapors, so you can feel your swollen passages open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
Wouldn't it be great? Yeah! If you invented a special potion that turned anybody into Rachel Hunter, the supermodel.
Ralph, would you take me for a walk?
Cool.
Ralph, we gotta work all weekend.
All weekend.
And your special potion turned ordinary beer in a can into Keystone Light and Keystone Dry, specially lined for really smooth
bottle beer taste. Ralph, mind if I join your party?
Sure, Bert. Come on over. Wouldn't that be great?
Over the 4-game win streak the Oilers are enjoying, Warren Moon has completed over 70% of his passes with 10 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions. And in the natural gas quarterback efficiency ratings, Boomer Esiason of the Jets continues to lead in the American Conference. Scott Mitchell now sidelined with an injury. Right behind him for Miami. Elway and another injured Miami quarterback, Dan Marino, 3 and 4. Stover kicks off, hits a knuckleball downfield. It is fielded nicely by Willie Drury, who takes it across the 20. Willie putting on some nice moves, takes it to the 27-yard line. And there the run and shoot will go on offense, 1st and 10. A 16-yard return by Drury.
Well, the run and shoot has got its work cut out for it today, because this is not a team that you can push around with your offensive line. I think the key confrontation when you're talking about Houston's offense against Cleveland's D is the offensive line of the Houston Oilers. What will they be able to do against Ball and Perry and Jones? I mean, those are tough guys up front in the middle. So the Oilers, they really play well when Gilbride and his boys, the offensive coordinator there, Kevin Gilbride, when he's able to run for 3-4 yards a crack into play action, allowing Moon to do his thing.
The Oilers, the 3rd best passing team in the NFL. Cleveland 20th in pass defense. Here's a connection. Webster Slaughter with his 59th catch. The ball is knocked away and taken away. Let's see what the ruling is. It appears to be the Cleveland Browns ball again, as the turnover nemesis of the Houston Oilers bites him again.
That's amazing. That's amazing play by the defense. You're talking about some big hits, people rushing to the ball. I mean, this is a routine play for the Houston Oilers. Little 5-step drop, Warren finding his man, but at the other end, watch the defensive play. Hard hit in the back by number 48, Mustafa.
At the spot of the interception. 1st down, Cleveland.
Whoa.
Well, we got a penalty. It's still Cleveland's ball, though. Najee Mustafa, with the hard hit in the back, makes this play. Mike Johnson, the linebacker, coming up with the football.
Didn't have to be a catch and a fumble, because on the carom, Mike Johnson got it in midair.
So it's called an interception?
Yep. So
what a play.
The Oilers turn it over again. 3 possessions, twice they've turned it over. Cleveland Browns continue to lead the game 3-0, and now they start from the Oiler 41-yard line. Oilers with good statistical numbers across the board. Their defense overall is 10th in the NFL. Matched against the 25th rated offense. Cleveland Browns with 1 turnover today. Trying to cut down. Bill Belichick said, if we don't put the ball on the field, we got a chance to win this. Bill Cox, good mobility, fires downfield, and he hits an open man. Mark Carrier's inside the 20-yard line. And he's down close to the 11 as a very emotional, spirited Cleveland team, after the throes of controversy that surrounded this club, really rising up today. That was a 27-yard gain.
The play action is really working well for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, Houston is respecting touchdown Tommy Vardell. Look at the fake. Look at the defense moving, everybody moving to the right. And Bill Cox with the mobility to buy himself time, getting outside of all of the rushers and making a good throw out to Carrier. That's a great play. Good play. It's that mobility factor. Bill Cox with a nice play fakes, moving outside of the entire defense. You didn't see a single Oiler player in front of Bill Cox when he threw the ball.
So the Browns get another chance to score now, leading 3-0 with 7 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the first quarter. Timing pattern to Jackson, just overshot.
Don, I am convinced that what they're thinking is the height advantage is going to help them out there. Michael Jackson is 6'4". Steve Jackson, the defender, number 24 for Houston, is 5'8".
Yeah.
Look at this. My athlete is taller. He's a better athlete than yours. I'm going to throw it up high, see if mine can jump and catch it.
Close to pass interference, but none called.
And Lathan really late there with the shot. Lamar Lathan, a very aggressive, blitzing linebacker. Phil Cox is saying, hey.
Lathan will be blitzing a lot. Here comes the big rush. They get Phil Cox and lose him, and he's on the run. Throwing to the end zone. And the ball is picked off. Here's a penalty marker down, though. Absolute madness here at Cleveland Stadium. On the run is Marcus Robertson. Still flying across inside the 40. But there's a penalty marker back at the 13-yard line as he ran it back from the end zone 70 yards. A wild day in Cleveland.
This is a wild day. Philcox did a great job working his way around to get free to throw that ball. Now, it looks like this penalty may be on Cleveland. Let's see here.
Illegal forward pass.
Okay.
Quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. First down, Houston.
So it is. You can't intercept an illegal forward pass. There's no question about it. That's what the case was here.
Good escapability here, but he takes about 2 steps too many. See, the official is standing right at the line of scrimmage. And Philcox throws it about 2 steps beyond him. And a super play made by the safety Marcus Robinson and a great run back. And we've got some highlights working here today, Don.
Beasley, we've only played 8 minutes and 16 seconds, and we've got 4 turnovers, 2 each way.
And, you know, both coaches, offensive coaches, defensive coaches for both teams said the number one thing we must do is not turn the ball over.
So much for that. Now Warren Moon takes a look at the Cleveland defense. Here comes the rush. They're strong up the middle on the Browns. Downfield throw and much too high. As Curtis Duncan was the intended receiver, other than Jeffries, the Oiler receivers are not tall, but they do have great ability to go up and come down with the ball. Haywood Jeffries is 6'4". Moon's now 0 for 4 with an interception.
Yeah, he's thrown maybe 2 balls that were off the money. The other interception was a result of good defensive play. That last throw was, I'll call that a Mooney. That was his fault. He threw that a little too high, a little too far to the inside. I can't believe the turnovers this early in the game to have 4 is pretty bad.
Oilers throwing on virtually every down. Here comes an all-out blitz. Moon swings it out. This could go for big yardage as Gary Brown is on the run. Inside the 30 and the 25. And Brown, who had that brilliant game last week, takes it down to the 21-yard line. So the Browns blitzed. You live by the blitz and you die by it. They get beat.
They had the right call on against the defense that it could exploit the easiest. It was a 17-yard gain. The all-out blitz traps everybody on the inside, so when Brown catches the ball, he's got from the numbers to the sideline to work on all by himself. And for a big man, you see, the guy's very elusive.
He's seen a lot in 9 years as a DB in this league. But
right, I saw it all, and that guy's got some moves, and he's big.
Moon again to throw on first down. Timing throw, and it's off the hands of Haywood Jeffries at the 2-yard line. Mustafa was covering very nearly a touchdown for the Oilers.
Well, Haywood Jeffries is a big target. He's one of the best. Mustafa having a super game. Nice position from start to finish. And you see the hand around his waist. If you're down in Houston screaming for a flag, they allow you to do that this year. You can wrap your arm around the receiver, but you cannot pull or push him. You can't change his running motion. There's Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator for the Houston Oilers. What he does is he picks a number. The plays are numbered on his wrist. He signals it in. He likes to go to Haywood Jeffries for the touchdown tries. He just tried it.
This will be the 7th pass in 9 downs. Here's a throw downfield. It's completed for an Oiler first down to the 9-yard line. Haywood Jeffries with a brilliant reception. This is a guy over the last 2 seasons, 91 and 92, has caught 190 passes. Haywood Jeffries. He's caught 44 this season, and Najee Mustafa, a starting cornerback for the Browns, is down.
Well, Mustafa has laid some major league hits on some guys today, and this time the safety and Mustafa come in together.
Oh, that's nice.
See, they come in together and hit each other. So Turner that time popping his teammate, popping his buddy. Eric Turner, a very, very hard hitter, came into this game with 88 tackles. Boy, he hit his partner that time. Haywood Jeffries wisely ducked at just the right time. Watch Mustafa takes a shot.
Oh, yeah.
Jeffries ducks, and Mustafa catches it in the side of the head. That's called an ear hole shot. And I'm telling you, that'll knock you out quicker than anything in the world. Right in the little ear hole. You see the ear hole right there?
Yeah.
Right in that ear hole, another helmet pops you right there, and it's like a bell ringing inside of your head. Nobody wants the ear hole shot now.
I never heard the term.
Well, you know,
Obviously, Najee didn't want it.
No, he didn't want it. And hopefully he gets up and bounces away from this.
Might have knocked him out. It was an absolutely brilliant play by Haywood Jeffries of the Oilers. Their all-pro receiver. Jeffries has some story. In his first 2 years in the league, he caught only 9 passes. A couple years ago, he caught 100. Belichick comes out. I want to remind you that coming up on most of these NBC stations, it's game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. And most of you will see the Steelers, leaders in the AFC Central, go against the Broncos at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Some of you will see the LA Raiders take on the San Diego Chargers. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Denver's so tough to beat at Mile High. Pittsburgh coming off a tremendous win, the shutout of Buffalo last Monday night. Najee Mustafa still down. And as you pointed out, Beasley, the contact really came from a fellow defender.
And that happens a lot in the defensive secondary. It also happens a lot to defensive linemen and linebackers that are holding a guy that they're trying to tackle. The DB comes in and cleans them off.
So while Mustafa's attended to, will break here in Cleveland.
Yeah, everybody thinks they know Troy Aikman, huh? Yeah, well, I'll tell you about Troy Aikman. He's a cool customer. I mean, I remember this one time. He was surrounded by crazed linemen. I was the ref, and I was yelling at him, Troy, run, man, run! Ha, ha, ha! No, he stayed in that pocket, threw a perfect strike, and then, oh, man, Aikman took it! Like a man.
At the end of the day, more top mechanics in America choose one motor oil over any other brand to help keep their own cars running longer. Valvoline motor oil. People who know use Valvoline.
Just try Black & Decker's Power Driver with torque control. You'll notice one major difference, the clutch. The higher the setting, the more powerful it gets. Power Driver and Power Driver with torque control from Black & Decker.
You've waited for a Buick. You've waited for Buick quality at a low sticker price. You've waited for a car with Buick's reputation for safety. It seems you've waited for a century. Buick Century, with standard driver airbag, anti-lock brakes, power locks and windows, and more. All for $14,995. So don't wait any longer. See your Buick dealer today. This is the value of the century.
2 parents murdered. Could their sons have done it?
I can't take it anymore.
A movie the Chicago Sun-Times calls emotionally powerful, gripping. A powerfully intense 2 hours of drama, says the LA Daily News. Neil Patrick Harris and Roseanne's Johnny Galecki give outstanding and moving performances. A family torn apart. NBC tonight. Parental discretion advised.
You can see that Mustafa is up and walking around, but he is obviously dazed. And I'm telling you, when you get hit in the side of the helmet, it's called the ear hole shot by the players. You see, he goes in to hit Haywood Jeffries and his own teammate, and it happens a lot. Eric Turner coming in, trying to finish off the play. Jeffries smart enough to duck. Got him right in the side of the head, and I'm telling you, that kid doesn't know where he is. When they get you to the sideline, they ask you questions like, what town is this? There's this replacement, number 22, Selwyn Jones. He's got 3 interceptions already this year, a young guy, second year out of Colorado State, a 6-footer, 185 pounds.
You tell him it's Las Vegas, you don't go in for a while, right?
No, they don't. You tell him it's vacation time and you sit down and rest, young man. So hopefully he's okay.
Now the Oilers, after a brilliant reception by Haywood Jeffries, have the ball. First down and 10 at the 10-yard line. Looks like actually first and goal with the ball is position. They got to take it in. They go to the run, and Gary Brown fights hard for a couple, but he's thrown back by the middle linebacker, Mike Johnson, a 2-time All-Pro player, Pro Bowler. Man they call the brain of the Cleveland defense.
Well, if you're down in Texas and you're thinking about what happened last week with that offensive line blowing people off the ball, not going to happen today. This is the best. One of the best front sevens in all of football. And Munchak, and Matthews, and Dawson, those guys have their work cut out for them today. You saw the neutralization by the defensive line immediately.
Brown's not doing a whole lot.
No, he's got 3 rushes for 5 yards and a fumble. So it's going to be hard going today. This is against a good defense.
After a career day a week ago. Second down. Warren Moon takes a look. The blitz is coming. Warren Moon's going to get eaten by it. Free ball. It's on the field. Cleveland has it. 3 turnovers for Houston in less than a quarter. So Warren Moon, who has just had an awful start to this season, then has been brilliant, now falling back to the turnover problem, as are his teammates with 3 in the first quarter.
Normally Moon stands calmly. Look how quick his feet are moving. He sees the pocket collapsing immediately against a very, very good defense. You don't have time to stand up and survey, and that is really the key to this game. Whether or not they could give Moon time, they did not, and it equals a turnover. That's a super play by that across the board. Michael Dean, Ball, Burnett, all of them collapsed that pocket immediately.
Jack Pardee watching his offense misfire. Now the Browns try again. Eric Metcalf, the man they said they have to corral. Here's a penalty marker in. It could be a face mask. William Fuller was the man who tackled Metcalf.
Bubba McDowell was up very, very quickly to make the play there.
Ball's going to go against Cleveland for tripping.
That's a call you don't see very much.
Now, if you can't block him, trip him if you don't get caught. It's a fine art. Guys are good at it.
It's a fine technique, something that guys develop over the years. Over the years.
Tripping, 44 offense, half the distance to the goal from the previous spot.
A good tripper, Beasley, like a good long snapper, can last a long time. Huh?
Now watch 44, Tommy Vardell. He's going for the shot, sticks that leg up, and gets him right there. If you miss him on the first block, you know, you do what you have to do in this game.
And now the Browns have to be very protective of that ball, deep in their own end, and leading the game 3-0 with 4 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the first quarter. First down and 17 with the ball as position. Vardell cut as he takes it to the left gap. Wilbur Marshall showing that all-pro form of his, number 58, shooting the gap. Wilbur, he gets there fast.
Let me tell you something. He was in there so fast that the offense had no chance. I'm telling you, he hit that about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And the defense coordinator, Buddy Ryan, said this is a paid killer. Look at, wow. Did he crush the lead blocker or what?
He was a key player.
Oh, threw his way in. That was Ron Wolfe trying to block him.
He played for Buddy at Chicago when they won the Super Bowl in '85, and Ryan coached the Mike Ditka defense at Chicago. Wilcox, another good play fake. He gets the ball away, and here's a penalty marker coming in after the play as Wilcox is swept under. Ray Childress, armed with a new multi-million-dollar contract, continues to prove his great value to the Oilers.
Well, Wilcox had some time there.
Holding on the defense. First down, Browns.
Well, you can tell now this is going to be one of those. This is going to be one of those games.
Holding, 25 defense, 5 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Bubba McDowell, a strong safety call for holding. Bubba was telling us he really likes playing in the Buddy Ryan system. He said one thing about Ryan, he might be controversial in quotes he makes to the press, but he never criticizes or gets down on players who are having trouble. He's always encouraging, building people up. He said he's a great motivator. You really want to play hard for him. Now it's first down and 10 for the Cleveland Browns, just across their 10-yard line. Another marker down. Might be an offside against the Oilers as Leroy Horde runs the ball for Cleveland. Right end might have jumped. Bubba McDowell was on the tackle for the Oilers. One of the criticisms of the Oilers over the wins was they really didn't beat a lot of good teams. But as Moon said, yeah, you line up against whoever they schedule you against, and that's who you have to beat. And they did beat Kansas City 30-0.
They were a little sensitive about that, too. I mean, I asked several players that question about, beating teams that they're basically supposed to beat, and every one of them.
95 defense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
So William Fuller, the culprit on the offsides call, but the Houston Oilers are very defensive about their last 4 wins. They think that they should be respected for it. It was against NFL teams. And, you know, Seattle is a decent team. They beat Seattle. They beat Cincinnati twice, which everybody has done. Today's a show-me day for the Houston Oilers, no matter what those players say.
Again, a penalty marker is thrown as there are 2 markers down now. Vardell running straight ahead. Philcox is obviously triggering that Houston pass rush early with either his count call or a movement of the head, but he's doing it nicely.
You hit it right on the head, Don. That's what I was about to say. I think that Philcox might be working that voice box really well. That was Glenn Montgomery
57
and
defense
57
offside.
Lamar Latham.
Penalty is declined. First down.
You do this enough, you can march right down the field. They do decline the penalty on Latham.
Here's a good shot at Latham. There he goes. There he stops. Can't get back in time.
We've had a wild first quarter, only 3 points scored. That on a 21-yard field goal by Matt Stover of Cleveland, but there have been 5 turnovers so far. 3 by the Oilers, 2 by the Browns. Vardell cutting back. Our runner taking on people on a first down carry. He's close to the 29-yard line. He gains 6.
The Houston Oilers defense is overreacting. I mean, Tommy Vardell is doing the same thing every time. He takes a couple of steps to the left. Everybody collapses to the inside, and he bends it back to the right and finds an opening. You see, all of the Houston Oilers are jumping. They're reacting too quickly. They're over-pursuing. And Vardell wisely cutting back every time, making yards.
Najee Mustafa, a cornerback for the Browns, who was knocked out a bit ago, still being attended to as Vardell runs again, and he gets to the 30-yard line.
A few of the Houston Oilers staying at home this time, Latham and Marshall. It's a very interesting defense that they run in Houston. I mean, in today's football, for you to put 11 people on the field and stay with them no matter what is very, very interesting. That's the Buddy Ryan invention, something he perfected in Chicago. And they blitz you. He will blitz you from a million different directions.
So Najee Mustafa, who was signed as a free agent, had played with the Vikings. He's being taken to the locker room to be looked at. As third down comes up now for Philcox and the Browns, and they go to Leroy Horde, and the big back from Michigan with a first takes it across the 35-yard line and out to the 38. The safety's got him, but it's a first down for Cleveland.
Hey, Don, good offensive line, 2 big bruiser running backs in Horde and Vardell. Look at the blocking. That is super blocking by Williams, the tight end, number 49, sealing off the inside. And that's, you know, the first downs kind of tell it all. Houston's got 2. Cleveland's got 8. Leroy Horde having a pretty good power day today on his couple of runs.
Philcox, timing throw, guns it to the flat. Man, the only guy near it was Steve Jackson.
That was a misread, Don. Obviously, Philcox saw a blitz. He stops quickly, expecting Michael Jackson to be stopped immediately. Jackson and Metcalf continue running down the field, and the ball is thrown behind him. That's miscommunication. That's miscommunication.
Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator of the Oilers, told us yesterday, if we don't turn the ball over, we can beat anybody. But today, they've turned it over. The Oilers offense has 3 times. And consequently, they find themselves down in the game 3-0. Houston coming in as a favorite. Both these teams 5-4 in the AFC Central, a game behind the Steelers. Philcox releases the ball just as he's about to be sacked.
There's an intentional.
If it is, it's expensive because you lose the down also. Loss of down is part of that penalty.
Philcox is saying that, wait a minute, there's a receiver right over there that I was throwing at. I didn't see anybody, and neither did the officials.
Intentional grounding, number 17. 10 yards from the previous spot. Loss of goal, third down.
He's got the boombox going out there.
He hit the button on loss of down because that's a serious part of this penalty is the loss of down thing.
Glenn Montgomery, a former Houston Cougar, has been coming on. Moving ahead of Lee Williams and starting at defensive tackle now. Glenn Montgomery makes a big play, and that sets the Browns back to make it 3rd down and 20 from the Cleveland 28-yard line. First quarter winding out. 6 seconds to go in it and the clock running. Colts a surprise leader at Buffalo 6-0 in the second quarter. And that will do it for the first 15 minutes of play. A wild turnover-filled 15 minutes with the Browns in the lead 3-0.
Watch how fast Dristan nasal spray works.
What do you smell? I smelled something. I don't know what it was. Use Dristan nasal spray. Now smell. That's an orange. Dristan nasal spray worked fast.
Dristan nasal spray. Fast, effective relief.
Braun Flex Control. The first electric shaver with a pivoting head. It automatically adjusts to every contour of your face. Flex Control from Braun. Braun, the last word in shavers.
When I became my own boss, I also became my own employee. So now he tells me to make coffee, open the mail, make sure the copier's working. So I checked around and people said get a Canon personal copier. Canon has a unique single cartridge that contains the toner, developer, drum, and virtually all the moving parts. Change the cartridge, and it's like getting a new copier. Buying it was such a good idea, I took him to lunch.
Canon personal copiers. Call 1-800-4321-HOP.
The Steelers, the Broncos. The league's #1 ranked defense powers first-place Pittsburgh against John Elway and the NFL's second-best passing attack. It's a battle of playoff hopefuls and a mile-high matchup. Next on NBC.
High above Cleveland, Ohio, floats one of America's most enduring images, the Goodyear blimp. Goodyear is providing our aerial views for today's game. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese at Cleveland Stadium. On a cold, windy, and clear November day, you see the numbers through the first quarter of play. Browns doing well in the first down department.
The big one, Don, is the total yards. I mean, Houston with 29, Cleveland with 141, and that tells the story. They've been running better. They've been controlling the ball better.
And now they go to the line, does Cleveland, with a 3rd down and 20 play coming. Wilcox stands in. Diving play on the ball, nicely done by Mark Carrier, who's down to the 37-yard line.
You see Dishman in there trying to pull the ball out. I'm telling you know what? It's really hard-hitting and aggressive defense that's making this game really interesting. You saw them struggling there at the bottom. This is a good throw by Phil Cox. They flood an area. 3 receivers out. Carrier breaks out. Watch how quickly he gets up. That almost gains a first down for him. Carrier's got 4 for 80 already. This guy is putting on a show. We're just in the second quarter.
Now Brian Hansen ready to punt into the wind. Willie Drury's back. Well hit ball by Hansen. Starts to hang. From the 15, here comes Willie Drury. Hunting that football. They're really attacking the ball, looking to knock it free. Gerald Dixon came down to make the tackle, number 51 for the Oilers. A 48-yard punt by Hansen, a 9-yard return. Tuesday night, football legend Broadway Joe Namath joins the fun with John Larroquette on the all-new episode of the John Larroquette Show. That's Tuesday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on NBC.
You know, Don, it's really been all these turnovers. I'm telling you, it's not the weather. It's a perfect day out here in Cleveland in November. And it's a hard-hitting defense.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are just, this is a game to watch if you like hard-hitting and scrambling deep. No quarterback has just stood up and hit some defender in the chest. These guys are playing great defense.
They said the key was to rattle Moon early, and they've done that. Now Moon throws to an open man. Beautifully done by Duncan, coming back at the ball for a Houston first down to the 38-yard line. Selwyn Jones was defending, but it was a 15-yard gain on the play.
Selwyn Jones got an education that time. That was an awesome move at the end of that play. I mean, Dawkins just broke in, broke out, left him all by himself. You see there's about 6 yards between the receiver and defensive back when he catches. That was a great move at the sideline. Selwyn will learn a lot today. He replaced Mustafa, the injured young man who is in the locker room right now getting checked out. Selwyn
Duncan, one of the 3 Pro Bowl receivers for the Houston Oilers, lining up against Selwyn again as a throw is downfield and incomplete at the 46-yard line. Triggered towards Curtis Duncan as they're looking at that matchup with Selwyn again. Selwyn Jones.
Warren Moon wanted something there. I don't know what he was asking for, but the ball fell to the ground with no receiver anywhere near it. So maybe Warren felt somebody was pulled or bumped.
Kevin Gilbride, we asked him what's been the difference in this team. Everybody cites the same thing, the play of the offensive line. As Moon said, I'm getting time to set my feet and scan the field. But the Browns have rushed him hard today. They get the big push up the middle with Ball and Michael Dean Perry. Diving throw downfield. Beautifully done by the Oilers. A perfectly timed arcing throw from Warren Moon to the streaking Curtis Duncan, who again beat Selwyn Jones.
And you'll notice that that's where they will work. They'll work on Selwyn Jones until they force Cleveland to do something to help the young man out by putting safeties over the top. That's a perfect throw, great strike, and the experience and talented Duncan going by the young man. And that's where they will work. They'll try to do some business there. Cleveland to go to double zones that will give them safety help over the top, and they're lined up in it right now, Don.
Yep, they're going to beat on that all day till they take it away. And here is Gary Brown on a draw play. And Brown, who had the big game last week, turns it up and ahead. He's got a first down for the Oilers. Down close to the Browns' 20-yard line. An 11-yard gain on the play. It is a first down. Don Coryell, who coached the great passing game at San Diego, said the key to the pass offense is to find a weak link and beat on it all day.
Tell you what, that's a good job. Look at 74. Watch the center Matthews here. On the draw play, he goes back and then drives forward, sealing off the inside with the great block on Johnson, their fine linebacker. That's just that's a good play and good block on Mike Johnson by Matthews.
First down and 10 at the 22-yard line. Brown breaks it into the Cleveland secondary, and Gary Brown, who told us that he was always quietly confident he could deliver if he ever got the chance. He said, I didn't talk about it. In the NFL, you never know what's going to happen. You just wait your turn, then you have to produce. He got his turn last week because the Pro Bowler Lorenzo White went out with an injury. Hamstring problems that has him sidelined again today. And Gary Brown had one of the greatest days an Oiler running back has had in years. In fact, the last guy to get that many yards was the great Earl Campbell 12 years ago.
They're super blocking up front, and just Brown, like you said, Don, he's a hard runner, very talented guy, and looks like he gets the first down.
He does get it, and the ball is positioned now at the 11-yard line. We're early in the second quarter, 12 minutes and 11 seconds to play in it. Brown now with 26 yards on 5 carries, Gary Brown. He was an 8th-round draft choice. He said he had 2 positions at Penn State. He's never really sure what he was. He was a strong safety one year and a running back the next. And now he's a running back all the way, getting more and going in. And the Oilers take the lead as Gary Brown bounces off a head-on shot and takes it in for the first touchdown of the game.
Well, Don, that happens all the time. You see that when a running back goes into the line of scrimmage and he's lost by the defense. He goes into a pile and comes out of it. Now, look, Michael Dean with a great shot on it. All the other Brown defenders head into that angle, and when he rolls out, he rolls for a walk into the end zone.
Now the point after attempt by Al Del Greco, who's having a terrific year. Del Greco has hit 10 straight field goal attempts, 3 of 4 from over 50 yards. Greg Montgomery's his holder for the point after try. It's on the way and good. And the Cleveland Browns now find themselves down 7-3. They'll be receiving the kickoff when we come back. Penalty marker down on the point after. Referee Ron Blum sorting it out with 11:53 to play in the first half.
Holding, 59 offense, 10 yards, repeat the try.
So now Del Greco takes a practice swing. This will be like a medium-range field goal attempt. Joe Bowden called for the penalty. The hold now at the 20-yard line, which makes it a 30-yard kick. Take the overhead view of the setup. It's on the way, and it's good. So they did it the hard way, did the Oilers, but they did get the extra point, and they lead 7-3.
People around Flat Rock, Michigan have a lot of reasons to be proud. One of which is building the Mazda 626. Because even with dual airbags and a V6 engine, it still costs less than a 4-cylinder Camry LE. 6 cylinders that cost less than 4? People in Flat Rock think that's a powerful argument for the 626. And so do we. Mazda. It just feels right.
American Express asks card members to make a difference in the fight against hunger. This is how much of a difference they've made so far. Help us raise up to $5 million. Use the American Express card to charge against hunger, now till December 31st.
Butch Haynes has a head start and a hostage.
Put the gun down, old-timer. Probably shoot the boy.
He's going to need them both.
This happens to be a manhunt.
Kevin Costner, Clint Eastwood, A Perfect World. Rated PG-13. Starts November 24th everywhere.
The Schick ST with the one-push cleaning bar gives men a closer shave than the 3 leading disposables. And men say it delivers a safer shave than the 3 leading disposables. So, for a better overall shave than the 3 leading disposables, it's the ST from Schick. We're changing the face of shaving.
Back at Cleveland Stadium, Don Criqui with Beasley Reese after the Oilers settled down after 3 first-quarter turnovers. That run-and-shoot offense starting to kick in now. They're getting a lot of yards, and they got the first touchdown.
Well, they're getting some good blocking. They're calling some great plays. Warren Moon is starting to get some things. I mean, he's been throwing well all along, but he hits it well, and they make some plays now.
Warren Moon says the whole key, getting time to set his feet and scan the field. And now Del Greco will kick off. Baldwin is back deep for the Cleveland Browns, and he'll field the ball at the 10. Hard-running Randy Baldwin takes it across the 30 and out to the 32-yard line, but a penalty marker comes in. Tackle made by Michael Barrow, number 51, a linebacker from Miami of Florida that Buddy Ryan says is going to be a superstar.
On the last touchdown, you...
Right now, the Cleveland Browns have the ball positioned at their 18-yard line after the penalty. A little technical difficulty with your mic there, Bees, but we'll have you hooked up here again with the backup unit. Right now, the Cleveland Browns have the ball. First down and 10, trailing 7-3. Bardell takes a handoff and a terrific defensive play as Bardell is tackled. Coming across to get him, Wilbur Marshall was on the play. Sean Jones. And the ball is positioned close to the 20-yard line, a gain of less than 2. Oilers with a lot of speed in that defense. Game clock ticking down, 11 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the first half. Buddy Ryan, cantankerous in his outward demeanor, but he's a delightful guy to be around.
He really is fun to talk to. In our meetings yesterday, he said he needs some iron killers. He's got one back, and Wilbur Marshall is what he said.
Here's a big rush. Nicely done by Philcox to get the ball away. It wasn't much of a gain, but Al Smith was coming on a middle linebacker blitz, and he got to Philcox and almost sacked him. Philcox did get the ball away and completed it somehow.
You know, that's the philosophy, the Buddy Ryan philosophy. You see the blitz coming from the inside and Wilbur Marshall coming from the outside. It's pressure. His whole scheme is based on getting pressure on the quarterback, making him throw the ball out of a rhythm.
They keep the heat on, as Sean Jones said. If you can withstand pressure, you might do well against us if you're a quarterback. But if you can't take pressure, we'll eat you up because the pressure's nonstop from the Houston rush. Blitzing all the time. Another big rush. Wilcox stands in. He's picked off by Dishman, who has 2 turnovers to his credit today. And Chris Dishman, a former track star at Purdue, takes it down to the 5-yard line. So Chris Dishman keeps doing this. He's going to be back in the Pro Bowl as he was after the 90 season.
Well, that's exactly what the Cleveland Browns did not want to see happen. I mean, you don't ever want to see that happen, but especially when you've got a quarterback controversy and people upset with the head coach for changing the quarterback position. And then Wilcox steps up, and basically nothing happened here. Just the ball a little bit behind Jackson, and Dishman makes a play.
Wilcox was troubled in his first start as a Brown last week at Seattle when he fumbled twice, was intercepted twice, and was sacked a couple of times. Now the Oilers, if they've evened the turnover count, 3 for each side in this game, go to the run, and Gary Brown puts his head down, but there's nothing there but Cleveland Browns to throw him back. Led by defensive end Rob Burnett, number 90. Stevan Moore and Michael Dean Perry also on the stop.
Success for this defense is to make them kick a field goal, and that was a great job by the defensive line. Everybody helped, Burnett was there, and then everybody came along and jumped on top to neutralize any possibility of Brown pushing forward.
Now the run and shoot. Beneficiaries of a big play by Chris Dishman from their defense. Set up. 2nd down and goal at the 4-yard line. Oilers looking to take it in for a 2nd touchdown. Here's a timing throw, and it's taken down by Duncan for a touchdown. The run and shoot at its very best as Curtis Duncan, who had problems with a sprained foot earlier this season that kept him out, could have re-injured it, but he did make a tremendous play going up and coming down with the ball.
Well, I talked about it earlier, Don. That's the corner they're going to work on, and they worked on Selwyn Jones, the young man who's filling in. And Duncan is one of the best receivers in the world. You see, there was no question about where Moon was going. He goes back and drops it right in there, right over Selwyn Jones's head, and he was in great position, but he just doesn't have the experience right now to go up against and to neutralize a Duncan.
So it looks like Curtis Duncan's okay, Beasley, as he makes his 3rd touchdown catch here, his 19th reception overall. A 10th round draft choice out of Northwestern, who went to the Pro Bowl last January. Again, Del Greco gets the extra point up and good. And so the run and shoot, after misfiring early, starts to hit big plays and now leads it 14-3.
Your teeth aren't flat, are they? Of course not. If they were, a flat brush would be ideal. But since your teeth are shaped like this, we designed our brush like this. Introducing Crest Complete. Your dentist uses special instruments that get between teeth. Crest Complete gets between too, up to 37% farther than the leading flat bristle brush. So to help maintain a dentist clean at home, get new Crest Complete. Only Crest could make a brush this complete.
In Flat Rock, Michigan, they build the Mazda 626 so that even with its V6 engine, it still costs less than a 4-cylinder Camry LE. Around Flat Rock, they think that's a powerful argument for the 626. And so do we.
Today, Michael White is having a lunch meeting in Indonesia without even leaving town.
This is your life.
Mary Kaplan is keeping things moving at her office, even though she's going nowhere fast.
This is your world.
With everything from local to long distance to cellular, it's easy to see why Sprint is the choice of millions who need to be there now.
Be there now. Life will wait. Be there now.
People around Flat Rock, Michigan feel more secure driving the Mazda 626. They make them themselves, so they put dual airbags in every one of theirs. And every one of yours, too.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By the American Express card, don't leave home without it. By the Schick ST Razor, we're changing the face of shaving. And by Sony, the official video electronics company of the NFL.
Cleveland, Ohio, they call it the Renaissance City. It's really booming in Cleveland, but right now the offense of the Oilers has been making the big noise the last couple of possessions as Belichick's Browns find themselves down 14-3. A high spinning kickoff out of bounds, and the Browns will start out at their 35-yard line. The turnover count for Cleveland during this 93 season, early on when they were so successful, they got to a 5-2 start. Games 1 through 8 had 11 turnovers, and then last week they had 7 against Seattle, and that undid them. They played well for the most part against the Seahawks, except putting the ball on the field killed them.
You can't win with 7 turnovers, and that's the thing that they've got to get straight. So far, they've done a much better job at it.
They have 3 turnovers already today. But so do the Oilers.
Yep.
The rookie center from Michigan, Steve Everett, down over the ball. A key to trying to hold out that up-the-middle pass rush of the Oilers. Nice play fake. Phil Cox buys time. He's lofting a long ball. Jackson is open, and he has it down to the 35-yard line. The deep threat, Michael Jackson, a 36-yard gain.
It's the same fake that they've been using all day long. That's Phil Cox with a nice play fake, and then stepping back and take a look at the little post corner by Jackson. Goes to the inside, comes back to the outside, completely losing Steve Jackson, and his safety not able to get over there in time to give any help whatsoever. That's a super play.
That was outstanding. And the reason it was so successful was Phil Cox is freezing everybody with great play fakes, faking the handoff to his running back. His lone setback now is Leroy Horde. On 1st and 10, Horde gets the ball. Hello. You got to have big-time courage to run the ball in the NFL, and Leroy has it.
Well, you can't take that air option. You go left, you go right, but you go in the air and get caught in the air. And watch what a man like number 94 will do to you, Montgomery. Oh, baby. And then McDowell climbs up Montgomery's back.
You definitely run out of places to go when you take that air route.
You know what happens when you get in the air? You can't cut left or right.
No.
Unless you're Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's right. Michael Jordan and Superman. That's about the only two. Now it's 2nd down and 9 for the Cleveland Browns. Phil Cox timing throw. Guns it over the middle, and very nearly another connection to Jackson. Broken up by Steve Jackson.
Well, the lines of competition have been drawn here, Don. I mean,
have they?
It's obvious that they want to get Michael Jackson on Steve Jackson. There's a height advantage for Michael of about, let me see, 4 or 5, about 6 inches. It's clear what they want to do with the football and who they think they match up well against. And that's the key to programming and game planning, offensive defense. Who do you match up well against?
He's getting help. Jackson is from Bubba McDowell, who's sliding across. Cleveland now with a 3rd down and 9. Browns converted only 1 of 6 previous 3rd downs. But first, there's a timeout.
It seems the more time goes by, the fancier trucks get.
Just a bunch of chrome and snazzy stripes. What the? Phew, Chef.
No. So Mazda went and asked folks what a truck should be.
I need a real truck.
And learned one very important lesson.
You don't run through mud in ballet slippers.
Introducing the bigger.
It's bigger.
Meaner.
It's meaner.
All-new Mazda truck. The only import with a 4-liter V6 and 1 monster warranty.
Gotta tow my dinosaur.
The new Mazda truck.
I like my dinosaur. It's a good dinosaur.
Mazda. It just feels right.
It's time to review your insurance needs with MetLife. Get Met. It pays.
There is a sound you'll hear in the triangle below Canal Street. It's the sound of German being spoken by those who are moved by the art. In your town, America, and the world, Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Do you dream in color? In bottomless blues and screaming yellows? In sounds that shake you to the bottom of your heart? In images clear as crystal and brilliant as ice? In faraway worlds as close as your fingertips? These are what dreams and Sony Trinitron televisions are made of. Make one come true for you. It's your life. Isn't it worth a Sony?
Legendary Eddie Robinson leads his Grambling State Tigers against the Jaguars of Southern University, plus the Battle of the Bands, the Bayou Classic, next Saturday on NBC.
Vinny Testaverde, who will be the starter for the Browns when he's due back. You saw him before the game, Beasley. When's he going to be back?
Well, he thinks he can be back in 3 weeks. He hopes to be back earlier. Bill Belichick told me that he expects him back in 3. So he's excited. He recognizes he's got a great opportunity when he gets back. He's got that right arm in a sling, though. Looks like he'll be out for a year.
He had a separated shoulder, injured earlier. He came as an off-season acquisition, the former Heisman Trophy winner from Miami of Florida, Vinny Testaverde. Phil Cox against a big rush, and they sack him all the way back at the 42-yard line. Now a penalty marker comes in after the play. That Houston rush, boy, it's fast. Sean Jones with his 9th sack of the year.
Sean Jones has got a lot of sacks in his career. He averages about 10 a year. I mean, this guy is something else. That's a nice rush. That time the play fake did not work. Sean Jones.
Holding, 66 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
They'll take the down as there was a loss on the play of 12 yards.
There's Tony Jones working against Sean Jones and really had no chance whatsoever other than to try to grab the guy.
Again into punt, Brian Hansen for Cleveland, standing at his 45. Tries to pooch punt it, knock a little 9-iron down inside, and he does, but it caroms into the end zone just. So it comes out on a touchback to the 20-yard line, and there, Warren Moon leads out the run-and-shoot offense of the Oilers, looking for more, as they hold a 14-3 lead. At halftime, we'll be going to New York to Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka for the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. And then, with a preview of the game 2 today, Neil O'Donnell against John Elway as the Steelers head into Mile High Stadium in Denver.
Well, that should be a great one.
Steelers looking like their Super Bowl defense right. Monday night against Buffalo.
Didn't they? Hard hitting. Hard to win at Mile High, though. That should be a great game.
Not only were knocking the Bills down, they were knocking them out. Buffalo's come from behind to take a 16-6 lead on the Colts. Warren Moon from the shotgun takes a look. He has time. A beautiful throw, but it's a free ball and the Browns have it. Eric Turner is on the run, the free safety, and he takes it all the way back to the 18-yard line. 4 turnovers for Houston, and yet they lead the game. Eric Turner with a 20-yard return on the interception.
Still working on that spot that they thought they could beat. They thought they could beat Selwyn Jones, number 22, hitting Duncan. They had it, but the bounce up and the safety is right there. I even believe that the safety was there, Eric Turner, to double a little bit, recognizing the fact that Houston is trying to exploit Selwyn Jones. And that time it works out well for the Cleveland Browns. See, I'm convinced that that's a double team. You saw Turner coming into the picture, taking the inside break, with Selwyn Jones maintaining an outside position. Good defense call.
And the Oiler defense right back out. It was interesting yesterday, Beasley. A lot of the Oiler defensive players said one of the reasons they're playing better is because with the offense of the Oilers playing well, they get more time on the sideline to rest. But one play later, they're right back out there. First down and 10 for the Browns. 18-yard line of the Oilers. Phil Cox with a deep drop in time. And he throws it away. Will Chamberlain could have got that.
Well, that was a smart play. The guy he wanted was Mark Carrier, and Carrier fell down at the goal line. So the fans are booing here, but Phil Cox made the right choice. The man who was open and the man he wanted fell on the ground. There's the guy he wanted right there. That's Mark Carrier. Tried to make an inside break, and he slipped to the ground right at that dirt spot that we talked about earlier, so Phil Cox wisely threw it away.
That brings up second down and 10. They go to a draw play, and Bardell hits straight ahead and hits hard. Ahead for a gain of 5 yards, down to the 13-yard line. Tackle made by Childress and Marshall.
If you notice, Don, they've gone away from just straight ahead attacking this defense. They've started with the play action faking. And then that was a nice draw for a nice little gain, but using more deception now, the Cleveland Browns.
Buddy Ryan signaling the defense out. We're pretty sure it's going to be a blitz with 3rd down and about 6 coming up. It is. Wilcox gets it away, and it's taken for a touchdown. Eric Metcalf, the man they said they had at Corral, gets loose.
The matchup advantage worked in worked against Houston this time. They had a strong safety. Bubba McDowell stuck on one of the quickest guys in the National Football League, that being Eric Metcalf. He completely lost Bubba to the point that Bubba fell down.
And the point after is hit up and good by Matt Stover. So the Browns capitalize on the 4th turnover this game by the Oilers, and they get right back in it, trailing 14-10.
Driver, do you have any Bud Light in your vehicle?
Yes.
Then I am Mr. Gallywikich.
You mean Dr. Galakowitz?
Yes, I am. This is so cool.
First time in a limo? Doctor?
In a limo this small.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Behind every new Mazda truck is an unsurpassed 50,000-mile, 3-year basic warranty. And behind that, who knows?
As your engine revs higher, the oil forms a hydrodynamic wedge, protecting your engine parts. But as your oil's viscosity breaks down, so can the wedge. That's why Castrol GTX has unique viscosity improvers. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because if your viscosity breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX. Now get a free officially licensed NFL team football when you buy a case of Castrol GTX.
You're looking at the most powerful import pickup ever built. The new 4-liter V6 Mazda truck. What all the beautiful people are driving this year.
The Steelers, the Broncos, the league's #1 ranked defense powers first-place Pittsburgh against John Elway and the NFL's second-best passing attack. It's a battle of playoff hopefuls and a mile-high matchup. Next on NBC.
Here's Eric Metcalf right here. He comes in motion and goes to the corner. Bubba McDowell comes over to pick him up man for man. And you'll see in the corner that as Bubba McDowell tries to plant and come forward to make a play, both feet go out from underneath his body. Metcalf left alone for the touchdown.
And now the Browns are ready to kick it off as Stover is into the ball and into the wind. A high kick. And Willie Drury starts at his 5. Almost loses his footing, breaks it across the 25 and out to the 30-yard line. 25-yard kick returned by Drury. Mike Caldwell was on the stop for the Cleveland Browns. And the run and shoot comes back up. People have to be separated on the sideline.
Big game for both teams, Don. Little heat.
Yep, little brief skirmish.
Little heat being generated out there.
Law and order restored, and the Oilers are set to go from their 25, but man, see where they position the ball. Have they had problems, though, with the turnovers? 7 turnovers in the game, 3 for Cleveland, and the Oilers with 4 and 7 possessions.
Well, and that's the one thing when we talked to Buddy Ryan, that's the one thing he said, if the offense doesn't turn the ball over, you know, we'll do some things.
Yeah, they'll beat anybody, he says. Crashing the pocket on Moon and pressuring him. Michael Dean Perry said the key is to rattle Moon. Here's a timing throw. Duncan has it. Take a profit type of offense. A quick out. Good for 5 yards.
See, it amazes me how quarterbacks can read plays like that. They were lined up in a double zone, and you wouldn't throw into the flat on the double zone because the cornerback is sitting there. But Warren Moon recognized that Eric Turner was inverting, moving forward, which meant that play would be there, and it was there. I mean, I know that's some A lot of football talk, but it's just amazing how these quarterbacks read that stuff.
Duncan now with 4 catches for 53 yards and 1 for a touchdown. Gary Brown ran for the other Oilers score as they lead 14-10. Brown, quick move. He does well to get any yards as the Browns stacked him. Coming up quickly to slow him down was Pepper Johnson, an outside linebacker. Then the tackle finished off by Eric Turner.
Eric Turner reads this immediately and comes flying. He'll fly right in front of you, right there. Slows him down, and then Pepper falls off of his play. That's a super play by Eric Turner, actually. Just a super read. He was about 12 to 13 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, so it takes a very quick read to get in the backfield that quickly.
Brown with 43 yards on 8 carries. First down run by Gary Brown as he takes it across the 45-yard line, out close to the 46. Johnson and Turner on the stop.
Well, if they establish a run, if the Houston Oilers establish a running game, buddy, it gets a little hairy.
Yeah, that opens up that pass.
Boy, Kevin Gilbride signaling in the next play. Man, once they establish the run, they become almost impossible to defend.
Gilbride says the key to the pass offense working is number 1, the running game working. And then pass offense, when you're going to throw, starts with pass blocking, but the running game sets it all up. Nice play fake by Moon. He looks over and dunks it off. Running hard with the ball. Coming down the field is Webster Slaughter, and he has the first down for the Oilers at the 44-yard line of Cleveland. Middle linebacker Mike Johnson makes the stop. Webster Slaughter said he didn't know if he'd be booed or cheered here, but he said he loves the Cleveland fans. He said they give this team so much support. He said it was just great playing here for them.
He had a lot of great things to say about his time in Cleveland, and boy, he's off to one great year. 58 receptions, 4 touchdowns, and look at the sign. Boy, I tell you what, there's a scratch out of the Slaughter name along with some other people that have left here. They're tough here. They're very creative here.
Yeah, the bottom line, though, on all the decisions, I mean, Belichick wants to win games, and for better or for worse, the decisions he makes is what he thinks will improve his team. And he told you, I think, yesterday that he thinks he's got the nucleus of a very good football team.
He feels like this team is going to win, even with all the controversy, because they've got the talent. When you have players, you have a chance to win games. And that's why Bill Belichick is comfortable and confident in his latest, most controversial decision. Feels like it'll turn out all right. You know, the owner of the Browns, Art Modell, is in the booth next to us. And when we were showing the signs, he looked over at me and said, that was drawn by a friend of mine. So he's obviously weathering this storm okay.
Well, Art Modell had the greatest line. They were asking him, you know, what with all the controversy swirling, what he listens to now. So he listens to classical music stations because they know they won't interrupt Beethoven to talk about Modell and Belichick. Only safe listening for him this week as the controversy continues to endure. Here's the penalty marker down. Browns might have jumped offside, but Gary Brown's not done. He's inside the 35 and down to the 30. Eric McMillan makes the tackle, but he does it 16 yards downfield.
You see it on pass plays, you see it on running plays when, you know, sometimes out of the corner of your eye as a defense, you see the flag go down and you let up a little bit. That time the defense relaxed just a little bit, and Brown took advantage. You know, he sets up his blockers so well.
Offside, 53 defense. Penalties decline. First down.
Just a little bit of a letdown now at the end of this play. Watch how Brown sets up his blockers. I mean, you see the offsides, and then everybody lets down slightly, and Brown able to. Look at him setting up Hayward Jeffries, allowing Jeffries to get in the best position to block people for him.
Brown, who didn't get much of a look at Penn State, was a great high school player. He was the Pennsylvania High School Player of the Year, and Williamsport scored 74 high school touchdowns. The whole world wanted him. Another ball on the field. Warren Moon falls on it. He averts a turnover, but he does take a loss. It'll be second down and 15.
Warren never had the handle on that ball. Never had the handle that time. Nope. See, from the beginning, he was, boy, they're lucky to get away with that one.
When they don't put it on the field, they move it. But the Browns keep hitting away at the ball. That time they didn't have to. The center for the Houston Oilers Bruce Matthews was called by Belichick yesterday to us the best player on their team. That's how good he thinks he is.
That's quite a statement on a team that's about half Pro Bowlers.
He said that guy is good. His brother, of course, Clay Matthews, an outside linebacker for Cleveland in his 16th year. Here's a throw. Webb Slaughter takes it. Not much of a gain. Well defended by the Browns. Eric McMillan was running with the receiver, Webster Slaughter.
You know, I figured, and I'm sure Cleveland probably thought, that they would try to feature Webster a lot today. They didn't early in the game, but they've started to call his numbers now.
Yep. He wanted to come in. He's over 60 catches for the year. He's on target to go for 100 receptions this year. He was a free agent. The Browns wanted to sign him, and he loved it in Cleveland, but he said he wanted to go to an offense and really put the ball in the air where he could get a lot of production. It's worked out.
Well, this offense is perfect. I mean, that's a perfect matchup. Webster Slaughter and the run and shoot.
3rd and 9. The crowd kicks in. 75,000 strong. Moon takes a look. Buys time. Makes a throw. It's caught somehow by Webster Slaughter as Moon threaded the ball between 3 defenders, then took a big hit. It's a 14-yard gain and an Oiler first down as we come to the 2-minute warning. So Webster Slaughter, in the midst of a big day, makes his biggest play. 3 catches so far for 28 yards.
This Heisman Trophy moment is brought to you by Wendy's, the best hamburgers in the business. Ty Detmer was the first of Brigham Young University's great quarterbacks to win the Heisman Trophy. The most prolific passer in NCAA history, Detmer leaped into the national spotlight as a junior. Detmer's 1990 brilliance saw him set 31 NCAA records, and his amazing season was capped by his Heisman Trophy moment.
So, Dave, what's happening at Wendy's?
We're making our new Big Bacon Classic.
Really?
I didn't know that. It's a whole quarter pound of fresh beef, cheese, and lots of toppings.
How many?
3 big strips of bacon.
How many?
The new Big Bacon Classic with an order of Biggie fries and a big icy drink. You better come hungry.
Who's ready for dessert? Oh, no, thank you.
It's good.
Wendy's, another thing to love about the holidays.
Nobody's eating anything.
I wonder why.
The problem with cotton pants is they come out of the dryer with all these wrinkles. But hey, Hager wrinkle-free cottons are 100% cotton. They come out of the dryer wrinkle-free. And really, really hot.
Oh. Hager wrinkle-free cottons, 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles. When regular drills hold you back, send in the Ranger cordless drill from Black & Decker. It goes anywhere to handle all the tough jobs. No strings attached. The Ranger cordless drill, a powerful gift idea from Black & Decker.
Webster Slaughter is back home, and he's putting on a show in what used to be his house. It's a good throw by Warren Moon. I'm talking about the defense is all over the thing. Number 27, Stephon Jones, had a great opportunity to knock that ball down. He misses it, and Webster in a great crowd with a very good catch.
Almost looked like he was going to intercept.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great chance to knock it down, but the ball had too much zip on it, and really the key is the concentration of Webster Slaughter with about 4 Browns around him.
14-10, the Oilers lead. And now they're challenging 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line of the Browns. On the run is Ernest Givens. And a big defensive play. He didn't fool Eric McMillan, a former New York Jet and a former Philadelphia Eagle who was recently picked up as a free agent and started today's game.
They've been looking to get Eric McMillan very much involved in this defense. They think it's a good acquisition. He's got a lot to learn. And look at him coming from all the way on the other side of the field. He had Givens man for man on the other side. And boy, that's a lot of range for him to cover to keep that to just a minimal gain.
Minimal gain. It was just 1 yard. Those big Brown defending linemen, Michael Dean Perry, James Jones, Jerry Ball, they dig in. Here's a handoff. Running with the ball down to about the 11-yard line is running back Gary Brown, tackled by Jerry Ball and Clay Matthews. Matthews, a starting linebacker in the NFL for 16 years. We asked him what the key to playing so long was, and he said loving it. He said he loves to play. Probably going to play again next year. 16 years and counting. We asked Jack Pardee the key to being a linebacker. He played in the NFL as a standout as a 15-year veteran. He said genes have a lot to do with it. Last that long, you can't get hurt much. Big down now. Third down. The Oilers need 6. Brown's threatening to blitz. They do. Moon stands in. He's got a man, but he's got too much lead on the ball. Gary Brown going after the ball, but could not get to it. So the Browns defense, after giving up some big plays to allow the Oilers this deep penetration, that there is a penalty marker down in the end zone.
Delay a game against the offense. There is no play. 5 yards. Repeat third down.
Oilers get a break there. Even though the penalty's against them, they get the down over.
Tell you what, that's a big break. They're resetting the game clock, but that was a big break for Houston because the run and shoot offense really has trouble when it's 10, 15, 5, 10 yards from the goal line. They need this room sometimes. So with the ball being about 16 yards out from the goal line, it gives them more room to operate.
And the ball is positioned just outside the 16. 3 wide receivers set to the right. Moon takes a look that way, now throws over the middle, and he's not close. And Del Greco will try a long field goal, fairly long. Bernie not having much of a day at Atlanta right now as the Kozar and the Cowboys are down 13-0 to the underdog Falcons. Del Greco, who's hit 10 straight field goals. He missed his first one of the year and has hit 10 straight since. Now getting set to try one. The ball will be positioned at the 24-yard line. 34-yard attempt. Montgomery, the holder. 1:17 to play in the first half. Oilers looking to build on a 4-point lead. No good. He shanked it. Browns take over the ball, trailing by 4.
Don, that's one of the toughest areas of the field to do anything into. The Houston Oilers were kicking right into the dog pound, and these people are jumping up and down and waving stuff and screaming like the back of a free throw
like
goal.
Taking a free throw at Duke or something.
Boy, I tell you, that's a tough spot to kick into or pass into.
Well, Del Greco, with a string of 10 straight field goals, has that streak end. He is 10 for 12 for the year, and most impressively, 3 of 4 from 50-plus. That time he had a gusting wind behind him, but he hooked it left. So the Browns come out with 1:13 to play in the half. Let's see what Phil Cox can do. What he doesn't want to do is turn it over. In this turnover-filled game, there have been 7 turnovers so far. Bardell runs it, and a penalty marker comes in. Browns have turned it over 3 times, the Oilers 4.
The owner of this team, Art Modell, is signaling face mask. We'll see whether or not he's right on this call. Looked like they might have tried to stiff arm Bardell right in the face.
And you have to wonder if they won't go to the deep throw before long, because Bill Cox had some success. He missed a wide open Michael Jackson earlier. Michael Jackson against Steve Jackson was the overmatch. Michael Jackson with more size and more speed than Steve Jackson. Here's Ron Blum, the referee.
15-yard face mask. No number reported against the defense. 15 yards, first down.
Well, the owner was right. Let's see if we can find it here. Touchdown, Tommy. Moving out to the right, Lamar Latham. Number 57.
Tommy's got the face mask.
Well, Lamar had it first, so that Tommy figured that gave him the right to grab onto Lamar's.
And all of a sudden, Browns have good field position, but not much time. Just 67 ticks left in the first half. Clarence Williams, a blocker, comes in. Extra tight end. Bill Cox with a 3 wide receiver set. 7-step drop, takes a look, long ball, and indeed he's going for Jackson again, who is screened away from the ball. And now the back judge throws a penalty marker in. The official right on top did not throw it. They might pick it up.
Well, they need to pick that one up, in my mind. Maybe the replay will prove me wrong, but Steve Jackson simply had perfect position on the wide receiver.
They picked the penalty up.
Incomplete, intended
Michael Jackson.
Well, somebody needs to explain this.
There is no foul in the play. The ball was ruled uncatchable.
I think that's a super call. Steve Jackson's in perfect position, turns into the wide receiver, looks back for the football. They draw it up like that in the textbook of how to cover man for man. You have the right to take a position as a defense.
And the Michael Jackson, Steve Jackson matchup we were looking for
continues.
Howard, I told you so, Cosell. Where is he now? Just had his 75th birthday not long ago.
Did he?
Yep. Second down and 10. Philcott. Oh, man. Stick that was. Michael Barrow. This is the young man that Buddy Ryan thinks is going to be a world beater. He says he'd be the best guy coming out of the draft.
My grandmother in Texas could have made that hit, though. I blame Phil Cox for that.
You got one tough grandma.
I got a tough grandma. You don't throw this, and she watches every football game on TV. You don't throw this ball. I mean, the guy's right there. You know he's going to get knocked out. It's a dangerous throw. The ball bounces up in the air. It could have been intercepted. Sometimes it's best to throw the ball into the ground at the guy's feet. You get a player hurt with a ball like that.
Still 56 seconds to play in the first half. Browns down 14-10.
Reverse.
Nice fake. And a screen is set up, but the throw is low. That was good defense and good offense. Beautifully conceived play. The Oilers.
That's a shame. You know that Metcalf is going to command a little respect, so when you fake the ball to him, everything was set up over there, and Phil Cox hits the guy in the ankle.
We could still see some fireworks, Beasley, before the end of the half. 52 seconds, and the Oilers are going to get it back on a punt by Brian Hansen. And Warren Moon can make it happen fast with a run and shoot. Low snap. End over end kick. Takes a big Cleveland bounce. Willie Drury picks it up, and he's immediately stuck. Coming down to make the play was Stacy Hairston. A 46-yard punt by Hansen and no return. Big special teams play for the Browns. The Goodyear Blimp Spirit has made the short trip up from Akron, Ohio, about 40 miles south of Cleveland, to give us the aerial views of today's game. Cleveland Stadium, what a great ball yard. The site of so many big games in late November, and another one today.
They love their Bernie here.
Almost loved more since he left. He was getting booed for a while here. He had some great years, though.
Yeah.
5 straight playoff appearances, the Browns had, his first 5 years in the league. Browns felt he wasn't mobile enough to run their offense, so they made the decision. Here is a give to Brown straight ahead with 38 seconds to play. Mike Johnson makes the stop. Oilers might be a little gun shy here, Beasley, to start firing the ball late deep in their own end after all those turnovers, 4 in the first half.
You know, you're probably right on the money there with their thinking. They are probably content to, and they are content, as we see Kevin Gilbride and the head coach Jack Pardee head to the locker room to figure out the situation.
They're going to take their winnings, limited as they are, a 4-point lead. Belichick leads his Browns into the locker room. Courageously, no hard hat. I guess he figures
nobody's going to throw anything at him.
And we're going to be heading to New York. Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka are standing by at NFL Live in New York with a complete update on all the happenings on this big day in the NFL. The Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report is next.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza, where you always get great pizza plus something for nothing.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the Marathon Turnover Festival between the Browns and the Oilers. You're at halftime now. All other early games are already into the third quarter, so let's take a look at how those scores stand. Starting in Atlanta, where a major upset is brewing, the Dallas Cowboys had the football for less than 5 minutes in the first half. got 1 first down. Emmitt Smith was carted off the field with a possible knee injury, and the Falcons lead 13-0 over the Cowboys. Mike, the Cowboys had been hoping this trip was a prelude to another trip to the Georgia Dome in January, but if Smith is hurt, that changes everything.
Well, if Smith is hurt, there'll be no trip there in January, that's for sure. They can't run their offense. Excuse me, Jim.
They can't
run their offense. No, they can't run their offense without him in there because it's predicated on a draw, delay, fake. And everything they do is off that delay draw. That's where they get their play action passing. And without him in there, they just cannot run the ball effectively. It's going to hurt their passing game.
All right, let's turn our attention to the AFC's potential Super Bowl representative, the Buffalo Bills, as they lead 16-6 in the third quarter over the Indianapolis Colts. This Bills fan checking things out closely. Is that OJ on the lid of the hat? Can't tell. Jim Kelly in the offense struggling early. Deep in Colt territory, Kelly's picked off by Ray Buchanan at the 2-yard line. On the very next play from scrimmage, though, Indy leading 3-0. Colts quarterback Jeff George is blindsided by Henry Jones. Why do they call it a safety blitz? So you can pick up a safety and make it 3-2. Later at 6-2 Indianapolis, Bills offense finally gets into the end zone. On 4th and goal, the 1-yard plunge by Kenneth Davis. Bills led 9-6. Then the Colts fumbled away the ensuing kickoff. That set up this 23-yard TD pass from Kelly to former Colt Bill Brooks. That made it 16-6, which is where the score stands at this moment in the third quarter. Bills getting a little bit better on offense.
Well, what they're doing, Jim, they're throwing the ball down the field. They've used Brooks down over the middle a couple of times, and they've also gone back to getting the ball in Thurman Thomas's hands, not only as a runner, but as a pass receiver. And I think that's very important because if you look at the success the Bills have had over the past couple of years, Thurman Thomas plays a big part of that.
All right. In Miami, the Parcells Pats are in position for a big upset as they're tied up with the Dolphins 3-3 in the third quarter. The first half was mostly New England. Pre-game festivities, Don Shula accepting an award from the Robbie family for win 325. Steve DeBerg starting for Miami comes into the enthusiastic support of the home crowd. On Miami's second drive, DeBerg looking as though he's going to get something going, throws a 36-yard completion to Keith Jackson, who's hit hard at the 36-yard line. That drive stalled. The Pats took her over. Things were going their way. As you can see here, Bledsoe's pass to Marv Cook deflected, and alert Vincent Brisby makes the catch. And Parcells' team in excellent position to control the ball and keep it going.
As they have been all year. They've played great defense. They played opportunistic offense. They just haven't been able to win the game. Once they start winning one, and this would be a big one, if they could beat Miami, I think that team would get a lot more confidence. I think they could go on to be a major factor in what happens in that Eastern Conference.
All right. Another Super Bowl contender in the AFC is, of course, Kansas City. Playing without Joe Montana today, Marcus Allen picking up the slack. 2 first-half touchdown runs as the Chiefs lead the Bears 14-6. The Jets have Boomer Esiason and the gang rolling again today. They lead 14-3 over the Bengals in the third quarter. Esiason facing his former team for the first time. Jets are wearing uniforms commemorating the 25th anniversary of Super Bowl III. But it was the Bengals who made noise early. First play from scrimmage was a pass to Harold Green. Then Green ripped off a 25-yard run that set up a field goal, made it 3-0 Bengals. Brad Baxter then capped off a 19-play, 94-yard drive with that 5-yard run to give the Jets the lead. Later, Esiason hits Johnny Johnson on this 49-yard reception that brought the ball down to the Bengals' 5-yard line. Johnson with 130 yards rushing and receiving in the first half. On the next play, he would take it in to increase the Jets' lead to 14-3. Cardinals gave up on Johnny Johnson. What a difference he's made with the Jets.
Well, he's a good football player, and I think the reason they did doesn't make any sense either. They drafted some other kids they thought were better football players. This kid's a big back, and he's a solid football player. Not only is he a good runner, he can block for you, and he's an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield. And the Jets are doing all the things that look good right now because besides playing good offense, Jim, they're starting to play good defense, and I think that's what it's going to take for the stretch run. This team could easily get to 9-4, and they'll be sitting there, and they're going to be a problem.
3 tough games to finish, but 9-4 would put them in great position. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers have fallen behind the Detroit Lions in the third quarter, 17-13 Detroit, after Green Bay had a 13-10 halftime lead. College football. On the pregame show, we told you Nebraska was the new #1 ranked team in the CNN USA Today coaches poll. Here now, combining the AP poll with that poll is the Bowl Coalition poll, which will determine bowl matchups. Nebraska #1, 68 points ahead of Florida State. West Virginia narrowly third over Auburn. Notre Dame is 5th. 3 key games remain this week, and here's a look at those. Friday, West Virginia at Boston College. Oklahoma at Nebraska. Saturday, Florida State at Florida. Obviously, an upset in any of the 3 would rewrite the top 5 and change the bowl matchups once again. Coming up next, we will preview the big late game in our doubleheader, Pittsburgh at Denver. That'll be coming up after a word from the NFL and messages from your local station.
He was perhaps the greatest running back the game has ever known. And on the day he set the NFL's all-time rushing record, his uniform was sent to the Hall of Fame. His own arrival was only a matter of time.
Hi, I'm Walter Payton. My induction into Pro Football's Hall of Fame is an honor that will always be special to me. But that honor was made even more special because my son Jared presented me for enshrinement, something that no other son has done for his father.
Your friends and your fans, I say congratulations too.
We're both thrilled with the hall itself, a treasure chest of football history with its regal enshrinement gallery, its action theater, its authentic mementos and exhibitions. From 100 years of pro football, the hall does more than celebrate the game I love. It lets the future touch the past.
The Hall of Fame, where legends never die and the season never ends. This message furnished by the National Football League.
Tonight on Sequest, he's called the Regulator.
Very cool. You know this guy's reputation?
He takes whatever he wants.
What are you doing on my boat?
Now he's kidnapped Darwin.
Back off!
Sequest at 8/7 Central, NBC tonight.
Wednesday is TV's greatest night of comedy. TV history's top comics together for the first time ever. The first annual Comedy Hall of Fame, NBC, Wednesday.
Coming up this week on Channel 2 News. Monday, the top 4 reasons your spouse may stray. Jan Carson reports on your cheating heart. Tuesday, some of your neighbors are hunkered down for a fight. A tag team of big business and government want to take away their land. Wednesday, the ABCs of law. You know, laws for anyone but Congress. Get the inside track with Bill Baeza and Linda Laurel. All this week on Channel 2, Houston's 24-hour news channel.
We'd like to compare the new 94 Nissan truck with the 94 Toyota. Both give you the great outdoors. But with the Nissan Value Package, you get air conditioning, AM/FM cassette stereo, power mirrors, and a Chrome package for over $1,600 less than the comparably equipped Toyota. So for $1,600 less, you not only get the great outdoors, you also get a great indoors. Nissan, it's time to expect more from a truck.
Catch the Oilers team report from Cleveland on Sports Sunday at 10:20.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza, where you always get great pizza, plus something for nothing.
Welcome back. This is a doubleheader day here on NBC. The late game that most of you will see has the Steelers visiting the Broncos, Pittsburgh with a 1-game lead over Houston and Cleveland in the AFC Central, Denver trailing KC by 2 games in the AFC West. The gentlemen, and we use the term advisedly, who will call the game at Mile High are Bob Costas and Joe Gibbs. Bob, a return to the football broadcast booth after a lengthy hiatus.
After a decade away from NFL play-by-play, kind of a reversal of roles for us here, Jim. I'm concerned about being a little rusty, but no concern right now for the Steelers atop the AFC Central at 6-3. Chuck Noll has them in position to make a move.
Chuck Noll has stepped down. Bill Cowher's the coach now in Pittsburgh.
Well, be it Noll or Cowher, it is always so tough to come to Mile High Stadium, take on Dan Reeves' Broncos. Very tough on their home field.
Sorry. Dan Reeves has gone to New York. Wade Phillips is now here in Denver.
Well, in any case, so great that the Redskins have a bye and you can dabble in broadcasting and join us here. All signs point to a memorable broadcast from Mile High, Jim.
Yeah, I think we're off to a flying start, Bob. And what do you think Otto Graham will be doing for the Browns today?
Well, you know, Paul Brown won't let him call his own plays. That's always irked Otto.
Indeed. On a serious note, Joe Gibbs, the Broncos have had a hex sign over other teams at home this year. Already that mystique has been dispelled a little bit.
2 losses at home. Tell you the truth, I still wouldn't bet on them or against them at any time in Denver Stadium. Pittsburgh's on a roll, but I think Denver's upset about that and mad right now at home.
Well, I think being mad's one thing, Joe. They got to start playing defense. They're not playing very well. They're giving up a lot of plays, over 20 yards in the passing game on defense. I think Pittsburgh's not going to change their game plan. They're going to go out and run the football at them, try to throw the ball to Eric Green and loosen up the defense a little bit. But again, Elway, you know, he's the magic man. If he's magic, it's going to be tough to beat him up there.
Well, I think he's off to one of his best starts. I think he loves a new offense. He's got a lot of confidence. And he's telling us just yesterday he has a lot more tools to work with now, and he feels like a lot more options in the passing game. And he's off to a great year.
Yeah, scoring hasn't been their problem. Only San Francisco has scored more points than Denver in the entire league, and all of their numbers, passing numbers over last year, they're all up offensively. But as you say, Mike, their porous defense has really done them in, and that's why they're 5-4.
All right, thanks very much, gentlemen. Mike Ditka. We turn our attention to Pittsburgh and Denver later on here. Elway 5-1 against Pittsburgh in his career.
Well, I don't think you can look at the past that much, really. I think today's game is a different game. I think the Pittsburgh team right now, Bill's done a great job with them. He's got them back focused. They're leading their division. And I think they're going to go out and they're going to run their game plan now. They're not going to have Foster on the field. They're going to have Thompson, who's a good football player. I think they're going to work the big tight end. I like Eric Green. I've said it all the way through. And if they get the ball to him, they're going to win the football game.
And what Costas is looking for, of course, is for Pittsburgh to get to the late innings with a lead and turn it over to Stan Belinda. Steelers and Broncos later from Mile High. Our NFL Live halftime activities continue.
It was the show embraced by every American family. Next Sunday, the legend lives again. You know you're always welcome here. Who says you can't go home again? The television event of the year, Bonanza the Return, coming to NBC next Sunday.
Tuesday with Joe Namath as his coach. Can Laura Kett score with ex-wife Donna Mills?
You look great.
Drop dead.
All new Laura Kett, NBC special guest Tuesday.
Growing up, I learned a lot from my dad about saving money. He taught me to recognize a great deal when I saw one. Like the new Smart Buy program from your local Chevy dealer. Right, Dad?
Yep.
With Smart Buy, I got this new CK Extended Cab for just $264 a month.
Yep.
Chevy full-size is the hardest working truck around. Smart Buy priced at $264 a month. It's not a lease, it's a Smart Buy.
Guess you can still learn something from your smart old dad, huh?
Yep. See your local Chevy dealers. They're working smarter, too.
All About Your Cheatin' Heart, Monday on 2 News at 10.
Back at Cleveland, Ohio, it is 14-10. The Oilers up on the Browns at halftime. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese. The last time the Oilers won 5 games in a row was back in 1980, and they'll do it if they win today. But right now, they've got to cut down the turnover count. They're keeping Cleveland in the game with that.
What, 4 turnovers already? I mean, these guys are struggling like we haven't seen them struggle in the last 4 games. I mean, they know if they don't turn it over, they can beat just about anybody.
Some first half highlights. There was some good throws by Warren Moon mixed in with some troubled ones as he was picked off twice. This is a good one going to Curtis Duncan, who went up, came down with it. That was the second touchdown of the day.
And Todd Philcox kind of stumbled his way around on this football field today, but here he did make a good throw. The pump fake allowed Eric Metcalf to free himself from Bubba McDowell in the end zone and to come up with a touchdown.
As we look now at the Coors Light Silver Bullet halftime statistics, you see the turnover count in yellow. And the overall yardage, the Cleveland Browns with 204 yards, so they lead the way in overall yardage. But they trail in the game. They've lost 4 of their last 6, have the Browns. Here is a big kickoff by Stover, boom, high into the end zone. And the Oilers, Willie Drury elects not to bring it out. So it will be first down and 10 for Houston at their 20-yard line. Jack Pardee said before the game, right now our confidence level couldn't be better. The players in this team are pumping each other up. We're feeding off each other's success. The 1-4 start was met with misery in the Lone Star State. The critics were unanimous, and they were many. John Jones said the one thing that brought us back, he said, was the fact that the core of the team never faltered. We were always together. The critics let them say what they would. They've come back to play outstanding football, but they're having problems with the wind and the Browns defense today. Moon goes to the draw on first down, and Gary Brown breaks another big run. A running back with a career average of over 6 yards a carry gets 13.
Gary Brown reads blockers extremely well. I mean, if you wonder the reason for his success, watch this. Nice fake on the counter, and look as he dips in and out, reading blockers, finding the creases, and then securing the ball. He's a big guy. When we met with him the other day, he's a wide player. Yeah, very wide person. 86 yards rushing already. So he's having a big day, even against a good defensive line.
It In his first start last week, he had 166 yards against Cincinnati. Here's a throw in the flat. Ball is caught somehow, but bobbled and almost lost by Curtis Duncan. As Moon, in his gusting wind, keeps gunning that run-and-shoot offense with the throws downfield.
Warren Moon recognized zone coverage that time. Everybody stopped. Slaughter stopped. Duncan stopped. And Warren Moon able to just choose which one he wanted to go to that time.
Moon, during a 4-game win streak, 10 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and a 77% completion rate, 70%. But today, he has 1 touchdown throw and has been picked off twice, as has his counterpart, Todd Philcox, thrown 2 interceptions. He, too, has a touchdown pass. Big rush. Moon stands in, ducks into the pocket, and gets the ball away. Not close to a receiver. He did well just to get the ball downfield as the Browns were really after him.
You can give that one to the defensive backs and to the play of the defensive line. That was a total, perfect defensive effort. Take a look at the pressure here. Anthony Pleasant with a good push straight in the guy's face and from the outside. Burnett collapsing in from the other side. Oh, my goodness. And then Pleasant getting a knockout shot on Warren Moon at the end. Good pressure, good play in the secondary. Moon had nowhere to go to. There's Nick Saban. He's working that defense for the Cleveland Browns.
Dime defense he's been going with all day long. That's 6 defensive backs. He's looking to get pressure from his front 4. Here's a blitz. Moon makes the throw, and it's ahead for a first down. A 3rd down and 5 play. And Webster Slaughter comes down with the ball for the first down.
Randy Hilliard was the defensive back for the Browns, slipping down on the play. The Houston Oilers run that those little stop patterns as well as anybody in the game. You see once again people coming in, showing their face in front of Warren Moon, but he has plenty of time to get the ball out.
And the ball is out to the 45-yard line on the completion. Opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Oilers trailed 3-0, then led 14-3. At the moment, they lead 14-10. Moon goes back to the draw. Brown hits his hole, finds it. Clay Matthews on the tackle. Belichick had an interesting observation that his former head coach of the Giants, Bill Parcells, used to make about running backs. He said, even the great ones, they're all the same if there's no hole there.
And that's the absolute truth. I mean, if you plug them up, they all look alike. There are a lot of running backs that have played on little teams with very little notoriety who would be great running backs playing for the Houston Oilers or Cleveland Browns, even somebody with a decent offensive line.
2nd down and a long 7. Almost 8. Moon stands in, makes the throw, catch is made, and it's going to be a first down for the Houston Oilers at the 44-yard line of Cleveland as again they victimize Selwyn Jones.
Now this is the situation that the Browns cannot allow Warren Moon to take advantage of. He's in the rhythm. Perfect drop back. Receivers have plenty of time to run their routes. The ball is going to be thrown well when he gets the blocking. He got the blocking that time. So Kevin Gilbride and his offense in that rhythm right now. They've got to get him out of that rhythm, Don.
That rhythm is built around Selwyn Jones going after him, a 2nd-year cornerback from Colorado State. Handoff. Gary Brown holds the ball, drives ahead. He's got a great burst. They say he gets to the hole even faster than Lorenzo White. Does not have the open field elusiveness of White, who went to the Pro Bowl last year with over 1,200 yards rushing.
Brown is sneaky elusive. I mean, he's not one of these guys that'll stop and shake and bake, but he will lean and cut and slash. And then because of the way his body is built, look, he's so low, he'll bounce off of you, roll, and gain another 2 yards.
Second down comes up. 4 yards needed. Moon with a timing throw. Haywood Jeffries comes down with the ball, and that lanky receiver from North Carolina State, a former #1 draft choice, tiptoes the sideline enough for a first down.
They have been working around the middle of the field, so the Cleveland Browns have been satisfied in playing very soft zones. You see the players going back in a zone principle and then coming up and making the tackle. Now, after about one more game, they'll be forced to blitz or play man for man. They'll have to try to put some pressure on Warren Moon.
Yeah, this drive, they haven't gotten it out of him. Of course, that draw run of Brown will keep the pressure off the quarterback. Cleveland now lines up their big front four. Again, Gary Brown. Man, is he a good back. He goes over 100 yards with that carry early in the third quarter. This guy is a football player, Gary Brown. They found out when Lorenzo White went out, they have 2 standouts.
He really is a good back. I mean, that time he started out to the left and bent the ball, bent the run all the way back hard to the right, taking him over 100 yards for the day. I mean, that's a super job. And then you have to remember that the offensive line is allowing him to get into that linebacker area and then work in having linebackers and defensive backs to make the tackle on a big man.
But the Oilers controlling the ball and the clock. An extended drive, 5.5 minutes long already. 10th play of the drive coming up. Moon takes a look, makes a throw, way off target. And as he releases, the rush comes in hard, led by Clay Matthews. Ernest Givens was the intended receiver. He's been quiet for most of the day. They've done a good job defending the Pro Bowler, 81, Ernest Givens.
You know, Bruce, there's Clay Matthews, and this guy's got all the moves in the world. And look at Clay working against the rookie, Brad Hopkins. And they were worried about Clay Matthews and Brad Hopkins. We were told that in the meetings. And you see why. Clay has got all 16 years worth of moves and experience.
He's got them all, and he still can use them all at optimum effect. Handoff, Gary Brown on 3rd and short. Takes the pile with him. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. He's ahead for 5, and then Bulls ahead for a gain of 10 yards on the play.
Well, everybody missed him that time. Ball was in there very quickly, as was Michael Dean. Look how quickly Jerry Ball is in there and misses him. Michael Dean misses him, and then everybody else is trying to arm tackle a guy who's huge. I mean, this kid is short and stocky.
Very sharp young guy. I mean, he's very open about what it's all about. He said, you don't know in this league. You just have to wait for your chance, and then when you get it, it's up to you to make good. He got his chance 2 weeks running. Now, here's a throw in the flat, a diving catch. Curtis Duncan with excellent hands. Didn't produce much, a gain of only about 2 yards.
And I give that tiny little gain to Warren Moon. Selwyn Jones is in great position. Watch Warren throw the ball back away from Selwyn. Brings the receiver back away from the defender. That's a super catch and a good throw, making sure that the defender doesn't have a chance at the football.
Yeah, he's got to be thinking about those defenders with 2 interceptions already and 4 overall for his team. It was the 7th catch of the day for Curtis Duncan. 1 has been for a touchdown. 2nd and 9. Moon takes a look. Here comes the rush. There's the throw, and it's right at a defender, and it caroms off him. Givens was the intended receiver, but Stevan Moore, number 27, almost had it.
Stevan Moore had perfect position. And you know, it's tough because the players were in motion. And what they look to do is to pick Stevan Moore and Selwyn Jones off of one another. And you see Moore able to step right on the inside and knock the ball down. Good position. Good play at the right time.
So the Browns defense, which was giving up a lot of yards in this opening drive of the second half, now starting to stiffen. 3rd down coming up. The Oilers need 9. This is the 13th play of the drive. Moon against the blitz, makes the throw. Webster Slaughter working hard, but he's not close to a first down. Now there's a ball on the field. The Oilers have it, and it's a first down with the ball is positioned. So this time the Oilers cough it up, but end up beneficiaries of the play, where Webster Slaughter was hit and stopped, was short of the first down.
You know, it looks like that's either David Williams or Matthews that came up with the ball.
That is really a freak play.
That's a freak play and a great job by the offensive hustler. Now watch David Williams after this ball is fumbled. These offensive linemen have to be coming toward the play to block in order to be in position to get this ball. David Williams, good job.
It was Clay Matthews who came from off the play to knock it free. But the Oilers ended up winning the skirmish, and they now have it 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Brown, the lone setback. He could get it. They're going to throw. Timing throw. It's to Brown, and it skips off his hands.
Well, they got the coverage they were looking for. They were looking for man-for-man coverage. They were hoping to get a linebacker, and they did. They got big Mike Johnson covering Brown. He had exactly what he wanted, did Warren Moon, and he's got to be a little upset about this one.
A little bit low.
Yeah, you can tell he just a little bit low and to the inside.
Last week against the Bengals, and you have to take the opponent into consideration, but the Oilers had 240 yards rushing, which was their most in 13 years. Timing throw to the end zone, not close to the intended receiver, Curtis Duncan. That brings up 3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line.
Well, there's the combination we've been talking about. Again, Kevin Gilbride didn't like something there. But that's the matchup they've been looking for. Nick Saban had his cornerback in a man-for-man position, Selwyn Jones, and Selwyn did a great job that time of covering Duncan.
You talk about an extended drive. This is an extended drive.
It's the 17th play of this drive coming up.
A 75-yard drive to this point, but nothing to show for it. 3rd down and goal coming up for the Oilers. Here comes the blitz. Moon stands in, throws to the end zone. Not close. Moon is decked by Rob Burnett after he releases the ball.
Well, the defense is asking for a hand, and they deserve it, too, because...
Yeah, they played great when they had to at the end.
Really good at the end. I think it might have been a little too much zone toward the middle of the football field. Take a look at the pressure coming in here on Moon. He had plenty of time, though, but you notice he's not stepping forward and throwing. That happens when throughout the game, you've been getting pressure right in your face. You start throwing the ball flat-footed.
Del Greco spins the field goal attempt up, but there's also a penalty marker down. It came on a 4th and goal from the 6-yard line. Here's Ron Blum, the referee.
False start prior to the snap, 72 offense. 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
Brad Hopkins, the rookie left tackle. He was the Oilers' #1 draft choice out of Illinois. He moved a bit early, so now it makes it a bit longer field goal attempt. Line of scrimmage is the 10. It'll make it a 17-yard field goal, or 27-yard field goal. Greg Montgomery is the holder. It's hit up and good. Oilers now lead 17-10.
Difficult decision at first, but over time it gets a lot easier to live with. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
A few weeks ago, while doing some test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. Unlike regular shampoos, Head & Shoulders help stop flakes from even forming. You see the difference? Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
Oh, my back hurts and I had a game this afternoon, so I'm taking Advil. More doctors recommend Advil by name to relieve backaches than any other brand. With Advil, a sore back won't keep me from swinging. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
This may seem like any other day, but it's not. Because now people will be able to talk to one another in a brand new way. That's because across the U.S. and Canada, leading cellular communications companies have joined together to create MobileLink, a new standard in cellular service. So now, whenever you need to stay in touch, MobileLink will make it as simple as a phone call. MobileLink.
Hello? I'm glad you called.
It's simply the way to communicate. To order, call 1-800-995-4000.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Acura. Some things are worth the price. By McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. By the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. And by Coors Light, aged ice cold for that pure taste of the Rockies. Reach for the silver bullet, the right beer now.
With Beasley Reese, this is Don Criqui back at Cleveland Stadium. On a cold November day, clear skies, sunny. Wind is gusting in, though, swirling off the lake. And Al Del Greco, who just hit the 27-yard field goal to help the Oilers build their lead to 17-10, kicks off to Randy Baldwin. Big-time collision at the 19-yard line, led by John Henry Mills.
Think of all this as a large block of ice. Think of this as a chip off the old block. Coors Light's aged ice cold. So when you think of ice, think of the silver bullet. The only way to chill.
Don't you wish you could be this comfortable with all your decisions? Acura. Some things are worth the price.
Finding work. It's the ultimate test students face. At ITT, we had a vision. Better teaching and facilities would lead to better students, which would lead to better jobs. And that's what led us to invest over $35 million in ITT Technical Institutes. It's nice to know our investment is working. ITT, we're adding more than just our name.
On Thanksgiving Day, make NFL Live a part of your holiday with Jim Lampley, Mike Ditka, O.J. Simpson, and Will McDonough, direct from Dallas. O.J. will take a look at the Cowboys' all-pro receiver, Michael Irvin. Then, the NFL's winningest coach, Don Shula, leads the Dolphins into Dallas to match wits with Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys. 3 Super Bowl victories between those two coaches. It's all Thursday, Thanksgiving Day at 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific with NFL Live, followed by the Dolphins and the Cowboys. You see Todd Philcock's numbers for the day. He's put it up a lot. This is the first time Cleveland's been on the field with its offense in the second half. 6:42 to play in the third quarter after the extended field goal drive of the Oilers. Philcock's looking to fire. He does. Carrier had it and lost it. Mark Carrier, a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer who came here as an off-season free agent, had some great years for Tampa Bay. One year had 1,400 yards in receiving.
Carrier's the inside receiver working against Bubba McDowell, who's in absolute pristine position. Maybe you throw that ball away.
That sounds like a good place to be, that
pristine position.
Absolutely. That's where you want to be in this world. Bubba McDowell, he played for Jimmy Johnson on a national championship team in Miami of Florida. So what was he like? He said, don't make mistakes if you want to play. He loved playing for him. He recruited him. Downfield throw and a nice catch coming back at the ball of Carrier, and he steps out of bounds. Mark Carrier can be a big-time producer, very elusive. Back in '89 was when he had that all-pro year with Tampa Bay, caught 86 passes for over 1,400 yards.
Well, this is a good throw. This is a good step and a good throw by Phil Cox. It's a super pattern, and that's Carrier's 5th catch, and he's got almost 100 yards. He's got 94 yards already, so this guy is making his contribution to the football game. Very quick, very fast.
Browns signed the number of free agents in the offseason. The Oilers are one of only 2 NFL teams that stayed away pretty much in the free agent market. And then they got the very big one in Wilbur Marshall. Picked him up, a 4-time All-Pro player. Mark Carrier turns out. Again, they get some yards, about 5. And while we have a moment, we go back to NFL Live in New York and Jim Lampley. Jim?
Well, Don, you know that Buffalo tight end Keith McKellar has been out all season. Here's his first catch of the year, and it comes at an appropriate moment, lengthening the Buffalo lead to 23-9 in the fourth quarter. 13-yard TD throw from Keller to McKellar. They're into the fourth, as I say. 23-9. Back to the Crickmeister in Cleveland.
Where we have a very brisk day, but a good one on the shores of Lake Erie. The Cleveland Browns digging in, down by 7. A second down coming up in 6. Bill Cox goes to Vardell. Terrific play by Wilbur Marshall, who got there first to slow him up, and then Glenn Montgomery finished him off. That brings up 3rd and about 3.
Vardell has carried the ball 12 times for 48 yards, and oh, I tell you what, this time they are all over him. Wilbur Marshall, look at him sliding down the line on a seek and destroy mission. stops his forward progress, and then Montgomery brings him down. So, well, it looks like he twisted something. He's out of the ball game. Leroy Ford steps in his place, number 33.
Third down comes up. Brown struggling on third down. They've converted just 2 of 9 today. They need 3. Here comes a blitz. Wilcox gets it away somehow just before he's hit. Bubba McDowell coming on a safety blitz. So it goes incomplete.
You know, that's what he was saying that he loves about this defense. Sometimes he's covering somebody man for man. We showed you that a few minutes ago. Sometimes, you know, he's on an all-out blitz like you see right there. That's got to be a fun position to play. You can become a star playing that position.
Bubba making the 11 count. Checking to be sure we got all 11 out here on the kick return team, and especially not having 12 out there. You can play with 10 or 9, whatever you want, not with 12. Ball hit downfield. Hansen really booms a punt, and it carries into the end zone. He got that up in the jet stream, and it carries all the way down 58 yards, but into the end zone, 38 net. Oilers have it when we come back.
Hi, Super Dave Osborne here, getting ready to roll across the country, singing the praises of these great-looking Hager wrinkle-free cotton pants. You know the ones, 100% cotton, wrinkle-free, out of the dryer, no ironing. I'll be covering more than 25,000 miles wearing these beauties. So come out and see me. I just wonder if Hager knows they're paying me by the mile. Uh-oh. Yahoo! Oh!
Hager wrinkle-free cottons. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
They're still not wrinkled.
Yeah, everybody thinks they know Troy Aikman, huh? Yeah, well, I'll tell you about Troy Aikman. He's a cool customer. I mean, I remember this one time. He was surrounded by crazed linemen. I was the ref, and I was yelling at him, Troy, run, man, run! Ha, ha, ha! No, he stayed in that pocket, threw a perfect strike, and then, oh, man, Aikman took it! Like a man.
Difficult decision at first. But over time, it gets a lot easier to live with. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
The Goodyear blimp, a very familiar sight over major sports events in America, here providing our aerial views today. High over Cleveland, Ohio. They're starting to feel a chill here a little bit, I think. This isn't Houston, but Warren Moon is a master playing in cold weather, and it's getting very cold now. He led Edmonton of the Canadian Football League to 5 straight Grey Cup championships before coming to the NFL. Asked him the coldest weather he had played, and he said, I'm really not sure. I didn't want to know. It was way, way below 0, though, in the chill factor. Moon pumps, looks, and wisely, his right tackle, David Williams, ducks the ball because he's not eligible.
Warren did the only thing he could do there. He sent 2 receivers streaking down the field. He had another receiver on a medium route. Everybody was covered. And, boy, he bled the pocket for about as long as you could possibly do it without being sacked.
Game pretty even, Beasley, in yardage. Oilers have 248 total yards, over 100 rushing for Gary Brown. Cleveland had 226 yards total. Second down and 10 Oilers. Again kicks in, 75,000 strong, a bad snap. Moon somehow hands it off, and Gary Brown does a great job getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Gary Brown is becoming more and more in the minds of people who've watched him over the last 2 weeks into a serious, this guy is a serious football player. And that was one of those Barry Sanders type things, you know, where you make 5 moves, you don't gain anything, but look at this. A spin, a juke, and this guy's got some stuff. He's got some major movement.
He's not tall, but he's a big bag. 5'10", he's over 220. And has the great burst. Third down, the Oilers need 9. Warren Moon from the shotgun, takes a look, makes the throw. Diving ahead, there's a ball on the field. The Oilers recover it, and it's going to be very close. We'll see if they're spotted ahead for a first down. It looks like they may have it. They do.
Very simple play. Terry Taylor on the defense, and Hayward just goes down and stops. Inside position. You see him go to the inside position. That means he's got him all by himself. You noticed he was looking at nothing but Hayward Jeffries in the man-for-man scheme. It's a good play by Jeffries. Tough guy to cover by yourself.
Big third down reception by Haywood Jeffries, the Pro Bowler. And the Oilers drive on. Brown looks for a gap. He finds one. People hitting him all the way upfield, but he maintains his balance and gets ahead for a gain of 7 yards, almost 8. Steve Van Moore finally brought him down.
Probably the most special thing that you can say about a running back is that, you know, the first guy doesn't make the tackle. I mean, Brown, it takes 2-3 hits to bring Brown down. It usually takes 2 people tackling at once. And that equals a pretty good running back.
Brown's defense allows only 92 yards a game rushing on the average, but Brown personally has beaten that today.
He's got 120 yards already.
Tag on some more. A second down run. Good for a first down with 2:15 to play in the third quarter. And the Oilers leading 17-10 over Cleveland. Eric McMillan hit him.
Brown got him a coach at the end of this play. No, he's right at the line.
Yep. Jim Bates.
That's right. That's hazard. That's why they get that hazard pay. There he is. That's where he normally stands. Before being propelled to the bench.
Sooner or later, even those not in the game take a shot. Loon looks, throws. Haywood Jeffries turning back at the ball, protecting with both arms. And looks like the whole city of Cleveland came and took a shot at him.
That's good defense when you get that many people on the football.
Yeah, but they did it 11 yards downfield. First down, Oilers.
First down later, they did it.
Haywood doing the job again today.
Still, we're in that position of the field, as you really well illustrated there by that shot. They're in the middle of the field, and usually the defense is going to be a little conservative. They're going to force you to throw passes, make runs, make blocks, and drive down the field. They're about 10-15 yards away from a blitz or man-for-man coverage.
Loon has time on first down. Now he's running out of it. Gets the ball away. It came in on the one hop. Incomplete. Webster Slaughter, 89, was the man going for the ball. Michael Dean Perry got pressure on Warren Moon. Gary Brown, number 33, now you see 123 yards rushing to just 57 for the Browns.
This guy's something else. I mean, he's making talk about making the most of an opportunity. He's doing just that. Lorenzo, who is going to be the call in Houston? Lorenzo's probably starting to heal up pretty quickly.
Yeah, Lorenzo's been troubled by some bad hamstrings, but he's been a tremendous player, too, for the Oilers. Gary Brown, that's all Pro Bowl looking back here.
That's awesome. You know, it's a combination of, it's the body lean, it's the way God and his parents and nature made him. I mean, just the way he's built. Low to the ground, aggressive attitude, refuses to be tackled. I mean, how much more can you say about the guy? He's still running right there, 2 inches from the ground. He's still pushing forward.
He gets the yards, and he holds the ball. He takes a lot of hits. Continues to rush. Over 130 yards now. Right back to Gary Brown. 5 yards, 6 yards in net carries up to 140 for the game. And that'll do it as Bill Belichick's Cleveland defense at the moment unable to stop the onslaught of a great offensive line, opening gaps for a power back in Gary Brown. So the third quarter ends with the Oilers leading and driving again. Now these words from your local station.
Tonight, Darwin is kidnapped by the regulator. Now the crew must risk their lives to save him. Sequest 8/7 Central, NBC tonight.
Randall salutes the Oilers hot dogs. The receivers.
At Randall's, we know our hot dogs. We sell over 2.4 million of them every year.
Remarkable.
Selected varieties of Hills Brothers coffee or all varieties of Carnation cocoa, just 99 cents. And 37-ounce Sara Lee pies, only $1.99 at Randall's.
Remember the last time we came to Chili's? You got the
Chicken nachos.
Right, they were great. And then you had the
Chicken fajitas.
Right, I remember how much you liked them. And I had the
Grilled chicken.
Right, with the
Fresh steamed vegetables.
Remember our waitress? Remember what you said to her?
Check, please.
That's right. That was at the end of our meal. Oh, man, our first trip here. Oh, I'll never forget it.
It was yesterday.
That's right. It was. I remember. Man, it was great.
I like to be comfortable when I drive.
That means a car with luxury, quality.
And value.
That means Buick Park Avenue.
With not one, but 2 airbags.
A 3800 tuned port injection engine. Leather seating areas.
Power seats.
Power door locks, windows, and antenna.
A convenient keyless entry system.
And much, much more.
For just $25,995.
At your quality Buick dealers.
The Common Bond between Liz and Michael on hard copy.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Cleveland Stadium. 75,000 on hand as the Browns in a most important game for both teams. They both came in 5-4. Cleveland trying to stem a 2-game losing streak. Oilers trying to extend a 4-game win streak. As Gary Brown turns it out and up, and Gary Brown has absolutely been magnificent the last 2 weeks. Last week they said the Bengals weren't a great defense. Well, Cleveland has a very good defense, and he's still doing it.
Well, that's what I wanted to see today, and he is. Look at this. See the little move?
Yeah.
The guy's sneaky, elusive, and sneaky fast. You look at him, you don't think of him as a guy with great moves and great, but he certainly has it all. I mean, this has been unreal.
Any DBs on the field like that, they kind of bring back memories of the good old days.
And look at this. See, the linebackers, the big tacklers for Cleveland are on the sideline. When you play a run and shoot, you tend to play a lot of DBs, but Houston can run.
I throw it when you can run every down. That time, Jerry Ball, who is a human bowling ball at 6 feet 315, shoots the gap and makes the stop.
Boy, take a look at the time of possession. Houston has taken over this football game by running the ball, good blocking on the line, and Mr. Brown putting on a show. In this third quarter, Houston's run 26 plays. Cleveland has run 5 plays. I mean, that lets you know the Oilers are in the driver's seat.
Looks like the Dallas Cowboys are going to go down to their 3rd loss of the season. You'll see them Thanksgiving Day against Miami here on NBC. Beginning with NFL Live at 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific. Warren Moon takes a look, searches out a receiver, buys some time with the run. Warren Moon heads for the 12th man, the sideline, and smartly steps out of bounds, but way short of the first down. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Warren showing a little speed there. He doesn't like to turn it on anymore too often, but he turned it on there and got to the sideline. You know, you can look at this and you got to thank the secondary. Look at every receiver is blanketed. Every receiver is surrounded. Even with the scrambling, the DBs are hustling to stay in position.
There was a 15-yard penalty signaled against Houston on Curtis Duncan, a personal foul.
Curtis, well, he must have turned into a blocker when he saw Warren Moon running and did a no-no.
He's had a nice day, though, Curtis Duncan.
He's had a good day.
Every day when he's in there, had a foot race, started over 60 straight games for the Oilers, then had a foot problem that kept him out for 4 games this year.
You know, Don, one of the difficulties of playing against a run and shoot is, like I said earlier, you tend to put 6 DBs in the game and 1 linebacker. But when the Houston Oilers have a running game, when they can establish the run like they've done the last 3 or 4 weeks, now you're in this quandary. Do I play more linebackers and then let them throw? Do I play more DBs and try to tackle? It's tough.
Big down now. Warren Moon needs that 2nd down and 22. Here comes the rush. Swing pass. Gary Brown running an open field. Lashes inside the 20. Got it back down to the 19-yard line where it'll be third down coming up. Third down at about 12. Eric Turner, number 29, was the tackler for Cleveland. And Rob Burnett, one of the Browns' best defenders, is down. So while Rob Burnett is attended to, there's a break here at Cleveland.
You can see these new movies at theaters and head for McDonald's Holiday Film Festival, where you can pick up the original videos. The Addams Family or Wayne's World. Just $5.99 each when you buy any large sandwich at McDonald's.
Cool.
Also available, the children's classic Charlotte's Web or Ghost. Just $5.99 each when you buy any large sandwich.
I was not aware of that.
But hurry, because they'll be gone in a snap. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
You've heard of store cards, gas cards, even car cards. Well, now, hear this. Introducing the new Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. Use it to make purchases, and those purchases earn free Shell gasoline. Average drivers could save 10% of their yearly gasoline cost, and there's no annual fee. The Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. Call 1-800-FREE-GAS.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Starter, authentic apparel and headwear of the NFL. By Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. By the American gas industry, gas, America's best energy value. And by Oldsmobile.
There's Rob Burnett. He's the guy who hurt his leg, but he's okay bouncing around. He'll probably go back in. Anthony Pleasant, number 98, will be his replacement. Pleasant moves all around that line. 4.5 sacks already this season. He can play both end positions. He'll step in now for Burnett.
Oilers with 157 yards rushing. Ernest Gibbons has rushed for 2 yards. And Gary Brown has rushed for 155. This guy's going to go over what he did last week.
It's amazing.
Of course, last week he missed. Sat out most of the fourth quarter, all of the fourth quarter. So big was the Oilers' lead over the Bengals. Third down. Houston needs 12, and Warren Moon wants to discuss this thing with his coaches. It is a doubleheader day on NBC Sports. Coming up next on most of these stations, the Denver Broncos take the home field at Mile High to go against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the current leader in the AFC Central. Or you may see the Raiders go against the Chargers at San Diego.
9-year-old winner, Joe Dempsey of Stowe.
Warren Moon has got 171 yards passing so far today. This is a big toss for him coming up, 3rd and 12. One touchdown, 2 interceptions. He's 18 of 34. He's had some brilliant plays and a couple of moon shots.
There's the AFC Central at the outset of the day. The Cleveland Browns, who's began with a season of promise, a 5-2 start. They were 3-0, then 5-2. Now 2 straight losses and 4 defeats in their last 6. Looking to turn it around today. A win would get Cleveland perhaps into a first-place tie, or the Oilers, if they win, could very well be tied for first if Denver beats Pittsburgh. But that takes some doing. Third down, they go to the draw play, and Gary Brown breaks it right up the middle, inside the 5, and down to the 4-yard line. He got a first down. So the Browns coming in an all-out pass rush, and they send Gary Brown up the middle on a draw, 15 yards.
That's a great call by the offense here. I mean, everybody's thinking pass. They're piling on the inside, full blitz, and Brown, look at him, shaking and baking at 2:30.
This guy, Beasley, if he keeps going, we're not going to send him to the Pro Bowl. We're going to send him to Canton.
Straight. 172 yards and 25 carries. All he needs to do here is score now.
Almost 7 yards a carry. Warren Moon finds trouble and makes the best of it and goes in. That looked like a broken play.
Yeah, I think that was a busted play.
But Warren will take it.
Warren went left and Brown went right. And Warren did what every quarterback is supposed to do, run the ball through the hole that was intended for the play to go through. Ran that tough, too.
So Coach Belichick's Browns up against it now, but there is a lot of time left. 12:30 to play.
See, look, he's looking for Brown. So Brown finally makes a mistake, and then Warren puts his head down and barely gets the ball over the line.
But he's got white chalk all over the ball, so it was on the line.
Absolutely.
El Del Greco on the point after try. Powers it up and good. And the Cleveland Browns, who at one point trailed 3-0, now lead 24-10.
We'd like to show you our new Achieva Special Edition. Well, for starters, it's got an airbag, four-wheel anti-lock brakes, air conditioning, automatic transmission, AM/FM stereo, power door locks. Sure, but that's where the really special part comes in. It's your money.
Use a workmate on your next job. And you'll never want to work without it. Get the workmate, only from Black & Decker.
American Express asks card members to make a difference in the fight against hunger. This is how much of a difference they've made so far. Help us raise up to $5 million. Use the American Express card to charge against hunger now till December 31st.
Random access memory.
Really good. Now, once again,
Megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes.
At Compaq, we realized that learning about computers can be pretty intimidating. So we invented Presario, computers designed and priced to make it easier. They come loaded with all the software you need to get started right away. And they're backed by a 3-year warranty.
WYSIWYG.
So instead of sounding smart about computers, you can be smart about computers. The new Presario from Compaq.
Back at Cleveland Stadium, 12 minutes and 30 seconds left to play. The only thing that's going to turn around the anti-Belichick sentiment is a win. And right now, Art Modell's Browns, he sees them down by 14 points with 12:30 to go. Belichick really doesn't have an offensive coordinator, does he, Beat? It's kind of a group decision.
Yeah, it's a, you know, he takes some input, but he makes the final decision going in, and that's been a source of a lot of controversy here in town. But Bill, secure and confident and a little stubborn in his decision.
Somebody had the bed sheet business was good in Cleveland this week. Baldwin downs the ball in the end zone, and Cleveland will have the long field to go. They'll start with the ball 1st and 10 after 20.
Well, Cleveland needs to make something happen here. I mean, this is it's an obvious statement, but here's what I would look at. I would look at Phil Cox trying to hit number 81 Jackson. And a look back at the last touchdown. There's Warren Moon, his running back, with the wrong way. And the 37-year-old, as of Thursday, happy birthday, drops his head and drives it in like a 25-year-old.
Yeah, the broken play, but he knew where to go when there's nobody to give it to. Right to that touchdown line. Carrier on an end around, and Ray Childress makes an all-pro play. Go to the bag of tricks, and there's nothing happening. The Oiler coaches all singled out number 21 on Cleveland, Eric Metcalf, who's just come into the game, as the guy they had to stop, and he has just 2 receptions for 17 yards. No rushes in the game.
Phil Cox is a very good play faker. Just at that time, Big Childress had so much penetration that he ran right into the play, ran right into Carrier.
The Stallions up front, the Houston Oilers. Downfield throw. Boom. Kitchen gets it, and he's struck hard by the free safety Marcus Robertson.
Now that ball on the other side of Kitchen, and it's a reception. I mean, this is just a ball that's thrown on the wrong side of the athlete. Phil Cox has the opportunity to step and throw it on the other side. It's a completion. See, the good quarterbacks throw it away from the defender. Give the guy a chance to catch it without taking his head off.
But he's got to kekeep throwing, down by 14, even with 11:34 left to play. As Here in the fourth quarter, the Browns are working into the wind for the most part. Wind is swirling. Seems to have died down a bit. Day getting colder, though. It's probably in the high 30s now. Here's a throw, and Dishman with a beautiful play.
Yeah, but, you know, Don, why go there? Why go at Dishman when Jackson has been having so much trouble? It's a wonder Dishman didn't catch that and moonwalk into the end zone. I wouldn't go there.
So the Browns are now forced to punt it from their end zone. And you know what the Oilers are going to do? Send Gary Brown at you to eat up clock.
Oh, boy.
Atlanta beating Dallas 27-7 in the fourth quarter. Falcons were a huge underdog on their home field.
Look at this.
Look at this. Running with the ball is Del Spear, a rookie. And he's to the 16-yard line, but that's not nearly enough. And the ball turns over to Houston. Bubba McDowell, number 25, made the block.
Well, Bubba has done what he's supposed to do today. He told us that he's a guy that's put in position to make plays. And he has risen to the occasion. That's a picture-perfect block. 2 hands out, right on the ball.
Do you dream in color? In bottomless blues and screaming yellows? In sounds that shake you to the bottom of your heart? In images clear as crystal and brilliant as ice? In faraway worlds as close as your fingertips? These are what dreams and Sony Trinitron televisions are made of. Make one come true for you. It's your life. Isn't it worth a Sony?
Nissan advertises their Altima as starting under $14,000. Yeah, but unlike the Oldsmobile Achieva Special Edition, that price doesn't include air, automatic, anti-lock brakes, AM/FM stereo, and floor mats. Things that can make an Altima finish just under 18 grand. The Achieva Special Edition with all that and more is only $13,995. Well, you could always split it with me. It's your money.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
Legendary Eddie Robinson leads his Grambling State Tigers against the Jaguars of Southern University, plus the Battle of the Bands. The Bayou Classic, next Saturday on NBC.
Bubba McDowell just sent Bill Belichick's team against the ropes, blocking a punt, and now the Oilers take over the ball, 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line of Cleveland. The Oilers looking to get 5 straight wins for the first time in 13 years. And put the knockout punch on now if they haven't already. Here's the guy that can do it. Gary Brown turns it up and out.
Gary Brown, the Little Terrier.
The Oilers have owned the second half, Beasley.
I mean, the time of possession is staggering. It's like a left hook. Houston's had the ball 15 minutes, over 15 minutes for 33 plays, and look at what Cleveland has done. Houston simply took over this football game.
Gary Brown now at 177 yards rushing on 26 carries.
And a touchdown. Don't leave out his touchdown. The man can do it.
End zone throw. Too much on it. He was going for Haywood Jeffries. Overthrown. That brings up 3rd down and 5.
There's Haywood Jeffries just going straight up on a streak on the side. He's a tall kid. They try to put it up high, and Terry Taylor in good position. Nothing they could do about that one.
Gary Brown's outrushed Warren Moon's passing. They both have a lot. Brown 177 yards rushing, Moon 171 passing. zone again. A long throw and too much on it for Haywood Jeffries. And that sends out Al Del Greco, so the Oilers unable to convert for a touchdown off the block punt. But they do have a field goal try, very makeable for Al Del Greco, who's been one of the best. A huge game coming up for the Steelers next Sunday at the Astrodome. The Steelers come to Houston.
Now that's going to be a football game.
Yeah, they'll be.
Those Steelers. You know, you hear a noise around that Three River Stance. People jumping on the bandwagon, baby.
Tell you one thing, those people in Houston ought to start jumping on because this is the best team in the American Conference, I think.
Field goal is good by Al Del Greco. The
field goal is good.
Houston 27.
When they told him he didn't have the size to play, he reached inside and found the power. Starter. He was from a small school in a small town, but he had the heart to make it big. Starter. Each had a dream, and when you start with a dream, where you end up is up to you. Starter. Available at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
If you care about this big, beautiful world, show me.
Don't give me another toxic antifreeze.
Give me something different. Don't just tell me how it protects to 70 below.
And guards against rust.
Any antifreeze can do that. Tell me it's safer for my dog, my family, the kids.
Tell me nothing protects better.
And it's biodegradable.
That's what I want to know.
That's what I want to hear.
New Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze.
Ready for another Oldsmobile commercial? Obviously, you've missed a few, like our new Achieva Special Edition. Surprised? That's nothing. Wait till you see what it comes with. I don't know, but here's where you want to be. It's your money.
The Steelers, the Broncos, the NFL's top defense faces John Elway in the league's second-best passing attack in a battle of playoff hopefuls. Next on NBC.
Next Saturday, a terrific college event. The Bayou Classic comes up on NBC Sports from the Superdome in New Orleans. The great Eddie Robinson, the winningest football coach in history. Anytime, anywhere, any level, Eddie Robinson leads the Grambling Tigers against the Jaguars of Southern University. That is next Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, the Bayou Classic here on NBC Sports. I'll tell you one thing, Eddie Robinson, I guess, is into his 70s now, but he's one of the best-looking 70s plus I've ever seen. He's going to...
energetic man.
Until he's 90. The kickoff comes downfield. Hilliard runs it back for Cleveland. Baldwin takes it back to the 21-yard line, and he is knocked down to the 21-yard line. A gain of 18 yards on the play. Todd Philcox comes back out, the 6'4", 225-pounder from Syracuse University. There's the new home of the Cleveland Indians, downtown Cleveland. This will open up for next season, and they'll be packing with a lot of people. And right nearby is a new basketball arena, where the Cavaliers will hold for it. It's a beautiful stadium. Hey, I don't know who's responsible, but somebody's done some job at downtown Cleveland over the last 10 years. It's like another place. Really a terrific city to visit. Here is Philcox firing downfield to Kinchin. He's upended, loses the ball, is picked up by a teammate. He's flattened. My goodness. The hits keep coming here, Beasley.
Yeah, they do. They are tossing their bodies around. Boy, that was a super throw by Phil Cox. Good catch. A good hit. They're throwing the bodies around. This is a huge game for both teams, and boy, the Browns have got to do something to get back in it. Watch Phil Cox here. He'll make a serious check to the right. There it is. Doesn't like it. Come back to the left and just nail Kitchen right on the button. Tell you what, that was a fumble. That was a fumble, so the DBs had a right to come in there and hit.
Kitchen takes the ball, the tight end, lunges ahead. First play good for 9. While the Oilers will be home next week, the Astrodome to play the Steelers. The Browns head south. They'll be going to the site of the next Super Bowl, Atlanta, Georgia. They'll be going against the Falcons, and all of a sudden that becomes a lot tougher game. The Falcons laying it to the Dallas Cowboys today.
Second down and 1 at the Houston 41.
There's the rest of the Oilers schedule. They too have Atlanta coming up. That's on the following week. Straight ahead give, and Wilbur Marshall fills the hole quickly and knocks down Tommy Vardell. Second and short, there's no gain. It'll be third down and 2.
You know, when you look at how tough the Oilers have to go, I mean, it's going to be a tough go here. Pittsburgh twice, then San Francisco. Everybody knows what the Jets are doing now. Cleveland is no slouch, so I tell you, Houston's got to play the way they're playing. They plan to really make some noise in this game.
Kitchen one-hands the ball and takes it down to the 35-yard line. Ryan Kitchen from LSU working more and more into the offense now as the game wears on. Going to some underneath stuff for a gain.
Kitchen's got 4 catches for 61 yards already. He is becoming a target. That's a super catch there. There are always people open when you're playing against the Buddy Ryan team. What he tries to do is give you this helter-skelter, emergency, exigent feeling by applying a lot of pressure. Now, he's going to start blitzing now. He doesn't wait very long. He's at that point in the field now where he'll start letting it go.
Oh, Buddy will be sending somebody here in a minute to blitz. There it comes. Hillcock takes a drop, though. They pick it up. Downfield throw, a tip ball off the hands of Michael Jackson. That brings up second down and 10 for the Browns.
You know, when a quarterback is just a little bit off, everything goes a bit high. And almost everything Kitchen, even the one-handed catch by Kitchen was a high ball. He had to reach up with one hand and catch it. Here, Michael, as tall as Jackson is, Michael is 6'4". He can't bring that one down. When a quarterback is off, it's usually a little high. The ball is high. That can also get you killed.
Yeah, stretching out those receivers. Wilcox thrown a lot, 15 of 35. Limited starting time. He had a great game last year when he beat the Raiders. A near perfect performance. Here's a throw downfield, and it's taken in by Michael Jackson. The Browns drive on. Reception made at the 25-yard line, right where he had to go for a first down, and looks like Mike Jackson has been shaken up.
Now that was a perfect blitz pickup by Phil Cox. He saw everybody coming. Once again, the ball a little high, but really can't blame him this time. Look at everybody. Wilbur Marshall coming straight up the gut. Phil Cox just did a good job to get rid of that ball, so you can't complain about that one being a little high. Here's a courageous catch and a good hit by young Jackson.
We'd like to show you our new Achieva Special Edition. Well, for starters, it's got an airbag, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, air conditioning, automatic transmission, AM/FM stereo, power door locks. Sure, but that's where the really special part comes in. It's your money.
Don't you wish we could just do this to air pollution? In a way we can. If homes and industries, power plants and vehicles would just switch to natural gas. Clean, economical, natural gas. Think what we'll save.
Now the movie America fell in love with can be yours during McDonald's Holiday Film Festival. Take home the smash romantic hit Ghost for just $5.99 when you buy any large sandwich. Or treat your family to the children's classic Charlotte's Web.
Isn't it great?
Just $5.99 when you buy any large sandwich. You can see these new movies at theaters and own the originals. But hurry to McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Monday, Will's bribing his teacher to get good grades.
Behold, my Chictionary.
One problem. Teach wants Hillary.
I was just so struck by your beauty.
Well, duh.
Then Sex and Blossom share a secret.
I'll be there for you.
And Joey hosts The Tonight Show and gets lucky.
Go out with me.
Whoa. With guest Tori Spelling, all new NBC.
Monday.
Michael Jackson was on the field when we last left Cleveland Stadium for that break after making a nice reception for a first down, but Michael's up. He's all right. Taking a play off, and the Browns drive on. But they need big plays. 7:37 to play in the game, and the clock is running. And the Oilers holding to a 27-10 lead. Metcalf, he's been held down. That's him in motion, 21. Here's a throw. Beautiful play. And Carrier goes in for a touchdown. A 24-yard touchdown throw. So the Browns strike quickly and inch back into the game with still 7:18 to play. Carrier with 7 receptions for 123 yards and that touchdown.
Say, Don, that was almost surgical in nature. It was a perfect throw, a perfect pattern. And when the quarterback and the wide receiver on the same page, it is almost like, I mean, it happened so quickly that the defense cannot react. Carrier can fly. Phil Cox, for once, put it right on the money.
Matt Stover hits the extra point. Up and good. And now, Phil Cox and the Browns down by 10. And now it's up to the Cleveland defense to try to get a stop of the Houston offense and get the ball back.
It's a 3-step drop. 1, 2, 3. Let it go. And I mean, he threw a bomb in there. Bubba McDowell fell down to help the play. But Mark Carrier and the quarterback, Phil Cox, were on the same page. Watch this. 3 steps and burst on the inside. How about that for a pass? He didn't have to jump. He didn't have to move. The ball simply met him. The ball met him at an intersection. And that's what it's all about when it's working right, boy, and the defense has no chance of reacting.
The Oilers have that time-consuming runner, though, Gary Brown, who not only grinds out the yards, he eats up clock. He's been the guy, and he's going to be getting the ball a lot in this next drive. Browns have to try to force a 3-play and out and force the Oilers to punt the ball with 7 minutes and 18 seconds left to play. Stover ready to kick off. It is now turning into a very cold day in northern Ohio on the shores of Lake Erie. But we have an onside kick try. The Oilers are certainly positioned for one. They got the hands team up front. Little wedge shot. Billy Drury across the 20 and holding on to the ball. He gets to the 23. It's a doubleheader day on NBC Sports. Most of you will see the Pittsburgh Steelers go against the Denver Broncos at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Some will see the Raiders take on the San Diego Chargers at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. Check your local listings for the game in your area. We have a long way to go in this game as Warren Moon on the Houston offense comes back out. There's a holding call on the return. That'll set the Oilers back, so
holding.
They have the long field to go.
Receiving team during the return. 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
There's a big break for Cleveland, and somebody's got to make a play. For the Browns to get back in this game, somebody's got to make a play, and they've got to make it quickly. See, the problem is they cannot let Mr. Brown, and that's what they're calling. Believe me, the Cleveland players are calling him Mr. Brown now. They can't let him just drag them 3-4 yards a pop.
Only his second year from Penn State. Gary Brown. He's the man. And they're reading him all the way. And this time they shut him right down. Miami has defeated New England by just 4 points as the Patriots continue to lose week after week in the closest of games.
Boy, the numbers tell it all right there. 91 and 92 combined for Mr. Brown, 172. Now look what he's done the last 2 weeks. He has come of age, I believe.
Oh, he has come of age. And he is aging that defense. Everyone he plays against. You get old trying to stop this guy. Moon off target. Duncan was running a hitch and go, and Moon was looking for the out pattern. So it comes to 3rd down and 9 now.
That's one of the difficulties of the Houston offense, is the run and shoot. It's an offense that is in flux. So the quarterback and the wide receiver have to see and read and make the same adjustment. That time, Moon and Duncan on separate pages. One thinking long, one thinking short.
And importantly for Cleveland, Beasley, the incomplete pass stopping the clock. 6:27 still to be played. 4 wide receivers set. Remember that draw he ran to Gary Brown. This time he's going to throw it. Here comes the rush. There's the throw. It's caught for a first down. Haywood Jeffries coming off the left flank, running a post pattern over the middle, and Warren Moon right on his numbers for 21 yards and a first down on a 3rd and 9 play.
See, the Houston Oilers have big play people. They have people that make plays when it's time. Look at Jeffries with a nice smooth pattern on the inside and his quarterback Warren Moon right on the money. Coach Belichick sits and doesn't make too much of an adjustment. You see the people behind him jumping up and down, but
major upset Beasley at Kansas City. The Bears have just upset the Chiefs 19-17.
This is some day in football.
Yeah, it's some weekend. Gary Brown on first down runs the ball and runs the clock, which is ticking down to 5:35 to play. James Jones and Stevan Moore, the tacklers.
Well, it's time for the offensive line to step up for the Houston Oilers and Mr. Gary Brown. If they give him a crack, they give him an inch, he'll take a mile.
Gary Brown said 1 year at Penn State he was a running back. The next year he was a strong safety. The next year he was a running back again, but he was behind Leroy Thompson, who's playing so well for the Steelers now. So he never got to play much, but they liked him in the combines and used an 8th round draft choice to get him. What a pick. Penalty marker comes in from the linesman as James Jones wrestles down the ball carrier, Gary Brown.
The tackle by James Jones.
I'll tell you, that was an interesting. The wide receivers may have
illegal motion.
Illegal motion. I thought it was in the wide receiving core moving illegally. We'll find out. Maybe it's in the line.
Wind gusting up in off the lake. The ball will be set back on the penalty as the Browns look for the mark. Back close to the 35-yard line. One of the offensive players is going off the field. David Williams shaken up. Looks to be all right. He just limped off. Might have turned his ankle.
3rd down.
We're at Cleveland Stadium. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese. 75,000 looking for the Browns to come out of their losing streak. But they're down 10 points to the Oilers now in the 4th quarter. 5 minutes to play. Houston looking for its first 5-game win streak in 13 years. Warren Moon stands in. Evades the rush. And wisely throws the ball away, but it was on 3rd down. And the Oilers have to punt the ball.
Well, we've had a couple of instances today where the Cleveland Browns have simply covered up everybody. The secondary on this team is pretty good. Now, here's the most dangerous man on the football field. Eric Metcalf can do. He's done it. He has done and he can do. They better cover this punt, buddy.
This is the man who personally beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on this field. Montgomery doesn't want to give him a run back. He angles it for the sidelines and kicks it out of bounds at the 30. They're very wary of Metcalf. They're not going to fool with him.
You know, the coaches told us in their meetings yesterday that they were going to kick it out of bounds, sideways, whatever they had to do.
Look at Metcalf yelling down at him, the former Texas Longhorn. Talk about an athlete. His best long jump as the U.S. champion was 27.8. Coming up next, the Steelers and the Broncos on most of these NBC stations on a doubleheader day. The Raiders also go against the Chargers at San Diego. But right now, the Browns have the ball. 4:48 left to play in the game. And Cleveland down 27-10. The last time they got the ball, scoring on a touchdown pass, now down by 10 points. They'll be throwing. Bill Cox with a quick drop. Here's a blitz. He just gets it away, and he makes the connection. Patrick Rowe, number 86, makes his first play of the day, and it's good for a first down.
Todd Philcox is starting to make some plays. I mean, he's starting to recognize blitzes. He's turning, he's throwing with his entire body with confidence and hitting people on the money. I mean, this guy is he's stepping up.
One of the things he does well, Beasley, he sets up fast. He's quick.
Yes.
He's big, 6'4", 225, but he's ready to throw. Here is a stretched out reception. It's good for a catch.
Super catch.
Somehow, The Browns make the play again as Michael Jackson goes up after the ball and comes down with it, a 9-yard gain.
Jackson still holding his back. A result of the last hit that he took. At the top of your screen, you see him limping into position number 81. Hanging on to that lower back and still trying to run. Just made a great play in pain.
Here's a throw and a catch. A stunning hit, but the ball is held. Michael Jackson again makes the play, and again the Cleveland Browns have a first down. As all of a sudden, Todd Philcox is looking like the guy they'd hoped he'd be.
Well, it takes a lot of courage to catch this ball. He just caught a ball and got nailed with man. Jackson and Philcox stepping up.
Over the middle throw against a big rush. Glenn Montgomery was coming hard, and Philcox had to release the ball to save getting sacked. Incomplete pass. That stops the clock with 3:23 to play. Green Bay has defeated Detroit 26-17.
I tell you, here's a great throw. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy steps, surveys, and look at the catch.
Philcox has some impressive numbers now. He's hit 20 of 41 for 288 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was intercepted twice, but that was early in the game. Here comes the rush. Philcox pumps, lets it go deep. It's picked off by Marcus Robertson. The Oilers intercept with 3:16 to play. So this drive is stopped.
You know, that happens a lot on the pump fake. If you're a great safety, when you see that quarterback pump one time, you take off running full speed.
You know it's going deep.
You know it's going deep. They don't pump you and throw a quick out. They pump fake the quick out. They pump fake the curl and go big. Now the pump comes off right there. Now he's pumping on the curl. And so as a great safety, you're flying. You catch it like a punt if you're any good.
I don't know if I'd be fooling with that dishman thrown over his way.
No, I wouldn't be fooling with the dish either. See the pump?
Yep, you got it.
When they pump, you got to be going. See, you throw on the ball in the National Football League, you're too late. You have to throw on the intent to throw. The pump, you go.
That's what they say when you're looking at the little number. You're in trouble if you're a defensive back. Number on the back of the jersey smaller than the one in the front.
I didn't see too many of those little ones. I don't know what you're talking about.
Tonight, don't miss an all-star, all-around the world spectacular on NBC. It's Disney's Countdown to Kids Day, followed by an all-new Sequest adventure starring Roy Scheider. Then it's an NBC world premiere movie. On the surface, they were the All-American Family. Behind closed doors, their true story will shock you. Neil Patrick Harris and Roseanne's Johnny Galecki star in A Family Torn Apart. That's all tonight on NBC.
In the first quarter,
the lights are on, and the Oilers are looking to run out the clock if they can. In the first quarter at San Diego, Chargers and the Raiders are scoreless right now. Some of you will be going to that game. Others will see, most of you will see the Steelers go against the Broncos. They too are underway now, and there's no score early in that first quarter. Is the man getting the ball again. Cleveland looking for him all the way. He doesn't get much as the Browns look to force the punt if they can. Browns quickly call a timeout with 3:02 to play.
Number 2. This is a 40-second.
We'll be back to Cleveland Stadium in a moment.
You're deep in REM sleep, dreaming the big dreams. Because as Freud said, all men are great in their dreams. Suddenly, you don't feel so great anymore. You'll do the big things later. You hit the snooze bar. You hit the snooze bar. You hit the snooze bar. You hit the shower. You start soaping up with Coast. Coast is rocket fuel for the senses. Coast is a big, bold blast off that turns you back into a human dynamo. Coast, the eye-opener.
Gary Brown of the Houston Oilers approaching a 200-yard rushing day. Up to 189 now. And the Tyler Rose was the last Oiler to get it over 200 13 years ago in the December day when he rushed for 203 yards. Third down coming up now for Warren Moon and the Oilers. They need 6. Timing throw, downfield, incomplete, and the Oilers have to punt. Haywood Jeffries was the intended receiver who wasn't close to a connection.
That's a play that they run all the time. It's where Hayward just goes down the sideline and then sets down. And here's the most dangerous man once again, and let me say this. There's no way they kick to this guy. I mean, we saw it last time. They're going to line drive it. They told us in the meetings that they'd rather take a 1st and 10 from the sideline than to kick the ball to Eric Metcalf, especially in the middle of the field.
Montgomery steps into it. Now he booms it end over end. Metcalf's going to get a play on this one. Runs out of room and finds some and gets back to the 43-yard line of Houston. A 36-yard punt and a 7-yard return.
Well, they gambled. They got away with it.
I think the reason they did, Beasley, is Metcalf came way up on it. If they were going to try that short sideline kick again, he was in position to possibly catch it on the run.
So
they kicked straight down.
You can see how dangerous he is right there. That's a hit, and he backs up. Very lucky there.
On October 24th of this stadium, he returned 1 punt, 91 yards for a touchdown against the Steelers. He returned another 75 yards for a touchdown. Statistically, the Steelers really dominated that day, but Metcalf personally beat him. Wilcox throws, and Kinchin makes the reception. He's down to the 30-yard line. A 12-yard gain on the play. 2 minutes and 37 seconds to play in the game.
Todd Wilcox doesn't have a lot of game experience. He is really maturing before our eyes. I mean, down the stretch, under pressure, under duress, he's making some good throws. Again, Wilcox sets up. Again, he has time, and Kinchin is there. It's intercepted again. A tip ball on the run of the Houston Oilers. Marcus Robertson's going to be ruled down. Robertson picks off another. That was you really can't fault anybody on that. It was a great play by Robertson as the ball skipped off Kinchin's fingertips, and Marcus Robertson from Iowa State makes a tremendous diving play. Back-to-back interceptions. You can't ask for any better than that. And really, like you said, you can't fault Todd Wilcox. He puts the ball there. The bounce and the quick hand and eye coordination of the defensive back. Watch this. That's why he's a pro. That's quickness.
That is real quickness. And again, the Browns are stopped. So late in the game, Wilcox has been in sync. These interceptions have stopped drives as he's up to 300 yards passing for the day. But as you see, has been picked off 4 times. So he has 8 turnovers in the 2 games he started. He had 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles against Seattle, and the 4 pickoffs today. Gary Brown. Browns go hunting the ball, trying to punch it free. They can't do it. As we now come down to the 2-minute warning at Cleveland Stadium, and the Oilers continue to lead the game.
The water on the left is being heated by electricity, on the right by natural gas. For the cost of heating this much water with electricity, we'd like to show you how much more you can get with gas. So why settle for the water on the left when natural gas gives you all that hot water on the right? Clean natural gas, America's best energy value.
There's another great Brown who runs the football in the NFL. In addition to the rising Gary Brown, there's Jim Brown, who some regard as the greatest ever.
Well, in my mind, he's the greatest ever. That's the man right there.
5 yards a carry for his career, and the whole world knew he was going to carry it.
That's right.
12,000 yards in 9 years, and he was playing in 12-game seasons.
That's right. That's the big stat that people forget about. Guys playing 16 games now and trying to compare their numbers to the man. I don't think so.
He said, how can you retire now? He said, well, you retire for 9 years now. I said, with this kind of money, it's awful tough to say goodbye. Gary Brown is weaving and turning and winding his way, and that will be another timeout on the field. This will be back to Houston, or to Cleveland.
help you?
Sprint is the only global phone company with local, long distance, and cellular. So whether you're calling around the world or around the corner, with Sprint, you can be there now. So whoever said the world doesn't revolve around you, obviously didn't have Sprint.
Save right now. Buy 3 Goodyear tires at the regular price, get the 4th tire free. That's right. Buy any 3 of these Goodyear tires at the regular price and get the 4th free. 4 for 3 now. Hurry, sale ends soon.
In a perfect world, they might have been friends. Not in this one.
You got no problem if I handle this?
Oh, yeah. Kevin Costner, Clint Eastwood. A Perfect World. Rated PG-13. Starts November 24th everywhere.
Anyone can see that the new GE Profile Radiant Convection range is easy to clean. But the real technological advantage is what you can't see. So we'll show it to you in a roundabout way. Introducing the first GE range that circulates hot air all around your food. Roasting meats up to 30% faster, so they get done to a turn on the outside while staying tender and juicy on the inside. Why does GE offer such an ingenious way to cook? Because we know how much of life revolves around dinner.
Welcome back to Cleveland Stadium. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese. You have to look at this Houston Oilers team, which has been known in recent years for fast starts and then collapses, as a genuine Super Bowl contender. I think it's the best team in the American Conference. We've seen them all.
Well, it is one of the best. I'm not ready to give them the best yet, but you know, I'm still looking at Pittsburgh and looking at what they do. But still, Houston, I think you have to be proud of what they've accomplished. They're coming up against a real tough part of their schedule.
Yeah, this will tell the story.
This will tell it. Over the next few weeks, we'll find out who's playing.
Back to the run they go. The Browns are reading Gary Brown all the way. And again, 3 straight times now, it's been 3 downs and out for the Houston offense as they try to run out the clock. So they're going to have to punt it back to Cleveland again. And it'll be Phil Cox throwing right down to the gun. But they need a touchdown and a field goal to just tie the game, down by 10.
Well, here's the Metcalf factor again. Once again, I wouldn't kick to him. The defense has been making the plays and making the turnovers. I'd kick it to the sideline, or at least I'd make this guy run a mile to field the ball.
Well, he tried to hit it. It's kind of a shank.
Yeah. Well, he tried to. He can hear me. He's trying to do what I'm telling him to do.
Yeah. Now let's look at the Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game.
And of course, if you've been watching this game, you know that it's all about Mr. Brown. Goes in, gets hit by Michael Dean, sucks in the entire Cleveland Brown team, spins off, and runs a beautiful touchdown. This man has put on a show today.
Every week, 2 starts, 2 superlative performances. And now let's see what Cleveland can do with 1:13 left in the game. And the Browns setting to go on offense. 1st and 10 at the Oilers' 39-yard line. Cleveland led off the scoring today. Scored on a Stover field goal to take a 3-0 lead. Then the Oilers came back with 2 touchdowns. They led 14-3. It was 14-10 at the half. Oilers extended their lead to 27-10. It's now 27-17 with Phil Cox throwing to the end. He goes downfield. Patrick Rowe has it. And he's down to the 23-yard line.
Phil Cox has been impressive in this emergency situation. He's really been good.
Yeah, he looks strong. His confidence level is definitely coming up. And he throws. Incomplete. That will stop the clock with 52 seconds to play.
And, you know, it's not like Houston is playing a prevent defense either. They're playing man-for-man coverage, and you know, Buddy Ryan is not one of those guys that just backs off and says, we've got a big lead, we'll let you march down the field. They are blitzing the guy. They're playing man for man. They're doubling the inside guys, and he is still, Phil Cox, still putting it on the money.
Buddy Ryan's defense has really stopped the run. They've allowed the Browns only 49 yards rushing, but Phil Cox has thrown now for 303 yards. 4 wide receivers going deep. He takes a look, tucks it downfield, and it comes in short. Incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd down at the 23-yard line. Of course, with 47 seconds left and down by 10, we're looking at four downs of passing. 2 more to come.
The guys under duress. I mean, this Houston team has done a great job. They have never quit rushing. Look at them. Childress Jones, Sean Jones coming in with a big hit in his head there. Fuller on the other side. These guys are bringing it. They know he has to throw.
Phil Cox numbers, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Oilers turned it over 4 times in the first half, early in the first half, then they settled down. Here's Phil Cox, and they get him. He's knocked down at the 27-yard line. Ray Childress with another big play.
Ray Childress and Lamar Lathan.
So 4th down arises, and Phil Cox looks to be going to the end zone. Now they're going to set out the field goal. You know, they need 10 points, so
doesn't matter how they get it. 3 first, 7 later, or 7 first and 3 later. Doesn't matter.
Try an onside kick. The thinking here is the field goal, which was good, makes it a 27-20 game. And now the Browns will try an onside kick with 23 seconds left, hoping they get the ball and can get a desperation pass into the end zone and tie the game.
This is an exciting part of the football game. Well, you get people diving in. Now the Houston Oilers will put out there what they call their hands team. They'll have every receiver, every tight end, every defensive back, anybody with good hands will be lined up on the kickoff return team. It'll be all the little guys, none of the big guys. Running backs, 2nd and 3rd team running backs and receivers, all of those people will man the kickoff return team now, expecting the onside kick.
Jack Pardee looking on nervously. The Browns are out of timeouts. Webb Slaughter goes on the field. He certainly has the good hands.
That's right. You know, he's not a kickoff return blocker, but he's right on the front line. There's Ernest Givens on the front line. These guys will have a wave of Browns coming at them, and their job is to concentrate, to have the coolness, the reserve, to gather in the ball and take the blows from these big rushers for the Browns, who will be trying to knock it free. Here we go. To the right side, maybe.
Look at this.
Here we go.
He's going to bounce it. Watch it. They work on this. It's amazing, these kickers.
Here we go.
He bounces it down the field. Look at that play. What a nice scoop of the ball by an Oiler. Who was that came? That was Scott Kozak, a linebacker from Wisconsin. Made a tremendous play, and that really, in effect, ends the game since the Browns have no timeouts remaining.
Well, you know, sometimes it's the bounce of the ball is what it comes down to. Now watch this. It'll bounce right perfectly where the guy can catch it and cradle it. He caught that at about the 8, and the ball is supposed to go 10 for the kicking team to be able to recover it.
Denver has taken a 3-0 lead on Cleveland. Or, excuse me, on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now, with 22 seconds left to go, the Houston Oilers have the ball positioned at the 43-yard line of the Browns. The Oilers looking to up their record now to 6-4. This after a 1-4 start. The knockout punch, that playoff game at Buffalo, and they're up by 35 and lost the lead, and then followed up by a disastrous start. All the pressure was on the Oilers. The critics were many and very vocal, but the Oilers stuck together, and they have come back big time. As they win again, they win their 5th straight game for the first time in 13 years. And they are a team to be reckoned with as Coach Belichick, with strong security, leaves the field as a loser with the Cleveland Browns. Browns have now dropped 5 of their last 7. Now for Beasley Reese, this is Don Crickey. Glad you could be with us in Cleveland, Ohio, where the Oilers are a victor 27-20.
The great masters defined civilization in Europe. Now we're defining it on the way there. United to Europe. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
2 parents murdered. Could their sons have done it? Neil Patrick Harris and Roseanne's Johnny Galecki, based on the true story that'll keep you guessing to the end. A Family Torn Apart, NBC tonight.
The price of freedom just came down with the new 1994 Chrysler LeBaron convertible. V6 power, air, automatic, driver and front passenger airbags, all complete for this. Now you can have your head in the clouds and still keep your feet on the ground. The new 1994 Chrysler LeBaron convertible, an eloquent expression of form following function.
Coming up this week on Channel 2 News. Monday, the top 4 reasons your spouse may stray. Jan Carson reports on your cheating heart. Tuesday, some of your neighbors are hunkered down for a fight. A tag team of big business and government want to take away their land. Wednesday, the ABCs of law. You know, laws for anyone but Congress. Get the inside track with Bill Baeza and Linda Laurel. All this week on Channel 2, Houston's 24-hour news channel. Get coverage around the clock on Channel 2, Houston's 24-hour news channel.
Ken Wiener's Catch a Crook premieres after Sports Sunday on 2.
Welcome to those of you who watch the Oilers beat Cleveland.